Last night, one of the best games of the season. The A's took Game 2 versus the Red Sox in dramatic fashion. Today, Sean Manaea looks to keep it rolling as the big lefty takes the hill. Looks to make it 3 in a row. A's, Red Sox, and it starts right now. Plenty of sunshine today at the Coliseum, as there's nothing like day baseball here in Oakland. The A's have won the first 2 games of this series, and this afternoon, Sean Manaea is going to look for his 2nd win of the year. So Game 3 of the series, it's the A's and the Red Sox coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball, along with Ray Fossey. I'm Glenn Kuiper. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Well, the hero last night was Mark Canha. Obviously, a walk-off home run puts him in that category, Ray, but he may be just as happy about the home run as he is with the double and the triple he hit off of Chris Sale, one of the best pitchers in all of baseball.
You know, Kuiper also might be the happiest man in baseball to be sent down to AAA. That's rare, but he went to AAA, got some great at-bats, and what he did against Chris Sale last night, a blazing double to left field off the wall, the triple to right field to drive in a run, as you're going to see right here. He said Betts didn't plant that well. Still a pretty good triple, hustling triple for the man who had hip surgery last year. But the biggest blow of the night came on this shot. 2-0 fastball gone in a heartbeat, quickly to left field. Great call by my partner on the walk-off, and the A's did walk off and beat the Boston Red Sox, the 2nd consecutive game. What a game for the Athletics last night.
Couple of lefties today, Sean Manaea, Drew Pomeranz, ran similar in the fact that I think they're both searching for good health and some consistency. They both got good stuff, but sometimes that stuff kind of leaves them.
Well, we saw Pomeranz when he was here. He became a starter, pitched well. Sean Manaea in his last start coming off the disabled list. He struggled the first 2 innings, but he settled down and retired the last 10. So 2 pretty good left-handers down. I agree with you. If Pomeranz can stay healthy, he's going to be important for the Red Sox. We know that Sean Manaea is good enough to stay in this rotation. He just needs to stay healthy as well.
And it is a gorgeous day for baseball. All kinds of sunshine. So we're going to have a fun day as it's Game 3 of the series. A's and the Red Sox. A's looking for their 3rd consecutive win. We'll have lineups and first pitch from the Coliseum right after this.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new guacamole and bacon chicken sandwich, only at Jack in the Box.
Festive at the ballpark today, all right? That's the Mission Gold Jazz Band outside the Coliseum doing a terrific job. As inside the Coliseum, we are set for baseball as Josh Fegley and the Athletics take the field. All white uniforms, looking good today under bright, bright sunshine. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The boardwalk is open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. 77 degrees, and really for the first time this year it is warm at the ballpark. A little bit humid, but it is a gorgeous day. So looking forward to maybe the A's getting their third win in a row. Starting lineup for the Boston Red Sox is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Betts, Pedroia, Bogarts, Ramirez, Young, Benintendi, Rutledge, Vasquez, Marrero.
John Manaea coming off a start. He retired 10 consecutive batters against the Mariners in his last start, the first off the DL. You have to talk fast. Betts took him deep last year in Boston during the Boston Massacre. Those 3 games where the A's, he only went 2 2/3, so that's a good start already for first pitch strike.
Betts hitting .290 with 7 home runs, 27 RBIs. He's 2 for 9 in the series with a double. With so much going on in last night's game, some momentum changing moments back and forth. We really didn't even mention last night in the postgame about the line out by Betts with runners at first and third. That was huge.
That was very big. And of course, we did talk about Bradley's great catch in center field to save a walk-off with Ryan Healy.
There's a lot going on last night.
Man. But the best part was the win.
Chad Whitson calling balls and strikes. Mike Winters, the third base coach or third base umpire, is the crew chief. Betts. Line drive back into the glove of Sean Manaea for out number 1.
What'd I do with it? I caught it. What'd I do with it?
So that's how we get this ball game started. Defensively for the A's this afternoon, Davis, Canna in the outfield, Plouffe, Rosales, Lowry, Healy on the infield, and Fegley again catching.
Josh Fegley caught last night, back again today. Day game after night game. Another lefty tomorrow. And Sean Manaea, the follow through good, put the glove down, grab it, because it might have been a base hit, but he caught it in the air, looked to first base, looked to third. Really did not know, but he caught it. That's the main thing.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort.
Tough to explain Sean Manaea's start against the Mariners in the first inning on a recent road trip. Just had struggles galore throwing strikes, and so close within a pitch or two and a batter to come out of the game in the first inning. Threw a lot of pitches, but he settled down. And you retire the last 10 and go 5 innings, considering his beginning. That was great.
Pedroia fouls it back. We call that an uneven start.
Oh, yes, very uneven.
Well, today, any 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. That's Drew Pomeranz, as he will be the starter today for the Boston Red Sox. So a couple of lefties, Manaea and Pomeranz. Down and into Dustin Pedroia.
And it is rare that a team will see 3 consecutive left-handed starters, but it's a 4-game series. A righty to start the series for the Red Sox, and then Sale, Pomeranz, Rodriguez to finish it out for John Farrell, the former pitching coach, former executive in the Cleveland Indians organization front office, and a very good manager. 13 a world championship.
Pop up toward Lowry, looking up into the bright sunshine. He grabs it. 2 outs here in the first inning.
Oh, that's a good pitch to an aggressive hitter, a hitter who will make contact, as we noted last night. Tough to strike out. He got him out on the front foot and just reached down. The pitch was close enough to be in a strike. And for Pedroia, usually will make some sort of contact. That time, not much, with a little pop up. It is a beautiful day. A high sky. It's could be very tough. Usually the left fielders have to endure this high sky and tough sun. Right field. Night games, but definitely not during the daytime.
First pitch to Xander Bogaerts is a strike. Bogaerts had 329, no home runs, 12 RBIs.
He struck out 4 times already, and it's hard to believe that a guy who's such a great 2-strike hitter has struck out 4 times.
Hits that one on the ground. Rosales shuffles to his left, scoops it up, throws to first, and Sean Manaea has a 3-up, 3-down first inning. Bottom of the first coming up. We'll give you the A's lineup when we come back. The Athletics lineup for today. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Rajai Davis in center field. Mark Canha, the hero from last night. He will bat second and play right field. And Lowry, Davis, Plouffe, and Healy. Ryan Healy starting to heat up. Pinder will DH again. Fegley will catch. Rosales will be the shortstop.
Joe Pomerantz will start for the Boston Red Sox. And Captain said it best about the health. If he can stay healthy, and for the Rockies, of course, signed with the Indians, the Rockies, Oakland, San Diego, Boston, and he's trying to stay healthy. And for Drew Pomerantz, who, when he pitched for the A's, pitched down to the stretch. He's got a modified wind-up stretch now.
Young, Benintendi, and Betts in the outfield. Marrero, Bogaerts, Pedroia, Rutledge on the infield. Christian Vasquez is the catcher. So Drew Pomerantz kicks the first pitch. Is a ball.
You got to be ready, because with Pomerantz, he can do anything he wants out of the stretch. And of course, like Velasquez, who pitched on Thursday night, you can see the slight movement of his foot. Of course, more in the rotation now. When he just started with the A's, strictly out of the stretch, now he has that little movement with his foot.
His time with the Athletics: 2014, 2015, 19 starts. He pitched pretty well for the A's.
Yes, both out of the bullpen and the rotation. That's the good curveball, and he's thrown in a lot to right-handers. Before it was mostly fastballs, but now a greater percentage of his pitches to right-handers, that 12-6 curveball, the backdoor curve, if you will.
Pitch, and there's that curve again, right through the legs of Chip Hamilton. Now we talk about Pomerantz and staying healthy. It's a good look at his motion. Pretty simple.
Yeah, and of course, when he's with the Rockies, you see the curveball, the knuckle curve that he throws. But with the Rockies, he's out of the windup, and a lot of arms and legs and mechanics were off, so he just modified everything, just very simply thrown out of the stretch. And that's the curve you have to be aware of, because it's a good one.
So that'll bring up last night's hero, Mark Canha, and this is what he did in extra innings. That, folks.
Well, you see Heath Emery, the pitcher. Now, the true definition of the walk-off was what Emery did last night. He walked off sadly. But they changed the great Dennis Eckersley's call. He should have patented or trademarked it, you know, the walk-off. But that was more just like Embry we saw last night, because Eck said that's the true walk-off. But Mark Canha, breaking ball, fastball, home run, and there's the Eck, the Hall of Famer, 390 saves.
See, Eck, he's always ahead of his time.
Yeah.
And he coined it walk-off from a pitcher's standpoint.
That's all it was.
Where you are literally walking off dejected.
Exactly.
But it's become a good thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's around baseball, the walk-off, whether it be, I mean, they're talking about a walk-off wild pitch, a walk-off hit better.
That's right.
You know, I mean, everything's a walk-off because the game ends, but that man had to walk off very dejectedly last night after giving up a 2-0 fastball. Gone. I mean, it did not take long to get out either.
Always give Eck a lot of credit. He, of course, gave up one of the biggest walk-off home runs in the history of baseball, and he sat there and answered every question.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Not all closers would do that.
Well, exactly.
Difficult time.
Well, yeah, but he stood up all the time, and you know, when he gave up a home run to Robbie Alomar in the playoffs, and he should never even been in the game, but he stood up to it. Last time the A's walked off against the Red Sox with a home run, Eric Chavez. And there it goes to right field, and Chavez, no doubter. That pitch a little bit outside, but he had that top swing. Hey, Jack, see if you could recognize all those players. Adam Melhuse was the catcher.
Yeah,
he came out.
Saw Ellie.
Mark Ellis and Chavez. I mean, there was an assortment of players that are no longer around. There's been some good players that have come through the Oakland A's in their 50th season of Oakland A's baseball.
Last night there were 3 walk-offs around the major leagues, all in the American League. The Orioles walked off against the Blue Jays in extra innings. The Twins beat the Royals in extra innings, and of course Mark Canha and the A's did it in extra innings. So 3 walk-offs. The A's have 4 walk-off wins in their last 7 home games.
Yeah.
How about that?
That is amazing. 3 consecutively, and then the one last night. And you know, they won the series finale against the Angels after the walk-off on Monday.
A's are playing well at home, right?
Yes, they are. They're playing great.
They're 13-8 overall at home, and they've won 11 out of their last 14 here at the Coliseum. So putting on a good show at home. They just need to get a little bit better on the road.
You know, and I think they will. I think because it will carry over. If you play well at home, you're going to play the same baseball. It's really not any difference except you're away from your home park. You just don't have walk-offs. You just get wins even in the 9th inning, but they're not walk-offs.
You can still get the win in your last at bat.
Exactly. Darren Bush doing an excellent job with his hitters. And nice to see them giving him credit because he puts in a lot of time and very, very well prepared.
Another 3-2 pitch, and that one is drilled. Left field corner, and it's foul. A line shot. Just could not keep it from hook and foul.
Well, hoping for the foul pole, similar to what Joey Gallo did in Texas, but this ball was crushed, and some fan, look out, but it did go in front of the foul pole, and that's what the umpires look at. And Canha just too quick on the curveball inside, and he's a little upset. A few times running to first base. Calm down now and take this fastball that he's going to throw you after the curveball, or he may try to back it up, which is not a bad idea. Try to sneak something back. Fastball.
This one's hit pretty well. Young goes back. Young waits in front of the wall, and he makes the catch.
Another fastball inside. He just jammed him enough to keep it in the park. See, after you hit a ball like that on a curveball, you figure he's not going to do it again. But some catchers will say he's not going to be looking for it. I'll do it again. But because it was a curveball, it came back with a fastball, and maybe just enough on the trademark that kept him in the park. Left his bat well, but just took a warning shot.
Would imagine the ball will carry well today.
A little bit better. Yeah. In fact, Ryan Healy might have had a walk-off against Greg Kimbrell.
Yep. I think he would have.
Yeah. In a day game, but last night hit it hard and just had to be concerned about a breaking pitch from the closer. Then he got a fastball and tried to go just right of center field. Couldn't make it.
There's a base hit center field for Lowry.
So, Cap, if you're a right-handed hitter and you approach a curveball just like that, you're going to get a lot, and they're going to be backdoor. If he throws it inside, you'll pull it foul like Canna did. But this was backdoor right to the center of the plate, stay back, and just take it up the middle, which Jed Lowry did perfectly.
Chris Davis.
So Lowry gets his 4th hit in this series, the former Red Sox. And here's Chris Davis. Chris Davis 3 for 7 in the series with a homer, a double, couple of RBIs. So hopefully he's starting to come out of his slump a little bit.
Well, you talk about ball carrying off his bat. It carries at nighttime. What do you think it's going to do at a daytime if he get one airborne? He's so much power line to line, and the fact that he's going to right center with home runs, that makes him even tougher to hit or to pitch against.
Chris Davis facing the always tough Chris Sale last night.
He hit it too hard. Short hopped the wall. Only 1 run could score, and as it turned out, second and third, 1 out. Hayes could not score the go-ahead run. But Stephen Vogt liked it. The happy birthday boy today, Adam Rosales, liked it. I thought it was special that Rosie said, "Wish Cat happy birthday for him." You know,
we're kindred spirits, man.
It's pretty special. We just wish we were young as Rosie.
I was going to say I was born just a couple years ahead of Adam Rosales. Oh well.
And I figured Skipper, you know, hit him 9th, hit him leadoff, let him have a leadoff home run.
I agree. You know what? Rosie's going to get a couple hits for us today.
Yeah, he's got to point up here and say, "Hey, Kaipi, you me." Tap his chest.
He'll pop up. Rutledge hustling over, and he dives, almost caught it. Initially, I didn't think he had any chance, and made a pretty good effort. It's Josh Rutledge.
He had to be playing a little bit off the bag, but a very good effort. Knows he has a lot of foul territory, and soft landing for him. Got his hair back in place. See, at Fenway, you just take a look and go back to your position.
Yeah, if he would have ran that far and dove at Fenway, he would have been in the upper decks there.
Yeah,
the Budweiser deck up there down the right field line. 2-2 pitch, close, and now a full count.
Speaking of the Red Sox fans, how about they've got to be ecstatic today. A 4 o'clock game Eastern time. This pitch a little bit high, and good call by Chad Whitson, the home plate umpire. Mark Wegner is usually in this crew because remember the 4 M's.
That's right. You're right.
Mike, Marty.
Lowry runs, and the ball's foul back.
And speaking of Marty, very happy to see him staying really in the game because he took one off the face mask Friday or Thursday night. Marty Foster at second base today, but he had one straight off the mask, pushed him back, and he was at third last night, second today. So good to see that the man in blue is back and did not miss a game after taking one off the face mask.
So another 3-2. Here it is, and it's a swing and a miss by Davis. Side retired. A couple of strikeouts for Drew Pomeranz. So we're scoreless after 1 from the Coliseum. Back on NBCSportsCalifornia.com, brought to you by Max Muscle. Log on each week as our A's insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, special guests, and more. His latest guest is Scott Emerson, Emo, we like to call him. He's the bullpen coach, all around good guy. He'll make you laugh.
But a very intelligent, good baseball man. He knows his stuff.
We love Emo.
And I don't know if I'd want to be down in the bullpen with Emo, because you can't mess around. Got the Hall of Famer sitting next to him, and Phil Pohl. So they're buddies. Phil was telling me, and I was asking him because I remember talking to him before. He and his family had a bed and breakfast in Cooperstown. So every time there was an induction ceremony, they'd be sold out. He's selling all kinds of stuff, working at the bed and breakfast, but they no longer have it. But he said that when I think it was Tony Gwynn and Cal Ripken Jr. went in the same time, he says the largest crowd he'd ever seen, and it was huge. And when
sounded good.
It is good.
Well, Hanley Ramirez goes center field for a solo home run to give the Red Sox a 1-0 lead.
Definitely sounded great. And the Red Sox nation standing, cheering, as it's a 6th home run. And something about right-handed power hitters going straightaway center against Sean Manaea.
Number 30, Chris Young.
But let me ask you this from a catcher standpoint, and you're right, and this is pretty good hitting if you look where the ball is. But does that have anything to do with maybe Manaea not yet mastering the inside part of the plate to right-handed hitters?
I agree. And that's why when he is at his best is when he throws hard inside to righties, fastball, slider.
Because his ball tends to kind of leak out over the plate to right-handed hitters, and that's what happened right there.
You see where the height's too, about belt high. So if he kind of drops down, if he gets up more on top, then he might get you down. There's a good changeup.
Heads up.
Yeah,
Lowry doesn't see it, and it falls.
Yep.
Chris Young hustling for second, and he is safe.
See, that's a Mark Canha ball. He was jogging. When you see the infielder, and especially with the sun, you got to go hard. You have to go hard. The wind's blowing, and it was up too long, and it's an outfielder's ball. But when Lowry went after it, he was having a tough time. See, Mark just kind of jogging in, and you got to go hard. And then by the time he threw to second, Chris Young hustling all the way, got the foot in safely. And they're going to take a look at it. I guess they think maybe he came off or popped up, and sometimes you hit the bag so hard you do. So an early call for Adam Roden, the video coordinator.
The Athletics are challenging the ruling on the field.
So it's at least a single. Let's see what happens on the tag. Watch the front foot. Yeah.
I think he was just out.
Initially, yeah.
Straight out.
He did not come off the bag. You're right. He got him right there. His heel.
He's out.
Yeah, he's out. And his heel is not on the bag.
Initially, I mean, just from here on the regular speed of the play, he looks safe.
Yeah, he's out right there. You're right.
Out.
And it should be an overturn. We'll see if it happens. It's an important call because it is the second inning. And see, the foot comes in a quick tag by Rosie. And it looked like he put
sure looks out.
Yeah, it looked like he put his glove down in front of the bag as Chris Young slid into it. Good hustle on his part. A's are hoping for the overturn because it was initially called safe. But he was about halfway to second when Canha picked up the ball, and then he had to take a little crow hop to get the ball and then throw it hard to second base. So quick tag by Rosie helped. It looked like he got him a couple of inches. I mean, it wasn't much, but should be definitive enough to overturn it. We will wait and see what the umpires decide. That's Marty Foster calling him safe. He's there with Mike Winters on the challenge back to New York. And they're having the A's feed, the Red Sox feed. They have their own cameras. And they're given 2 minutes, a little bit longer than they have here to decide. And they've decided. Wow.
I don't get that one.
I don't either. I don't either. Because that was definitive. And enough angles
Ruling on the field stands.
to show that it was out. And I agree with Adam Roden.
Number 16.
So it goes as a double. And here's Benintendi. Benintendi against the left-hander, dropping down to the 6th spot. The first pitch is called a strike to the young outfielder playing center field today, Jackie Bradley, getting the afternoon off.
You know what's sad? You had to challenge a play that should have been an out anyway. You know,
that's true.
That's
yeah,
the whole
that's
thing.
Right. That's a good call by you.
And I mean, that's a tough one to lose on the challenge, but in reality, he shouldn't even been going to second base. But good hustle on Young's part. And
bounced over the mound to Rosales, so he'll get the job done by getting Young to third. Yeah, you really lose twice on the play.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's such a tough play for an infielder, and especially a sunny day. First of all, to pick up the ball in this high sky because there's no clouds, nothing. It's overcast. Jed's got the sunglasses on, but you know, initially, do you pick it up? And again, every outfielder on any ball that's hit should be charging in, and if the infielder can take it, so be it. But at least you're there to call him off if necessary.
Infield comes in for the A's as Josh Rutledge steps up. Rutledge takes up and away. Playing first base today, giving Mitch Moreland the afternoon off. Rutledge pinch hit last night and had a base hit. And the strike. But I'll take it.
We saw last night the numbers for Rutledge as a pinch hitter, and of course for him today playing first base, he gets 4 pinch hitting opportunities at least, maybe 5, who knows.
Another strike called. So the outside corner is there to have a strike called if you want.
How about go back there? Pitch cast, see if it goes around the plate, of course. I mean that's very close, but hard down and in if you're going to do it.
Rosales has it. Thought about coming home, but he's going to go to first. Chris Young going on contact. He got a good jump. He's got good speed. And Adam Rosales made the right decision, but a run for the Red Sox, so they lead 2-0.
Well, you can hear it off the end of the bat, and that was enough maybe to not make it as crisply as it hoped. And so a gift run for the Red Sox. Now the A's have to come back from down 2, but you're right. As a base runner at third, you walk down the line, you stop on your front foot. He's thought, no chance. Get the runner at first base and made the right move. It's still early in the game. You don't want to open up a big inning with making a play like that. But it's so important for the runner at third base to be walking down the line on contact, and you kind of end on the front foot. You can go back or you can take off. He took off and made it easy. But if there's any hesitation, he's going to be out.
Strike called to Christian Vasquez. 1-1 the count. Vasquez hitting 313 with 5 RBIs. He was 0 for 4 on Thursday night. Sandy Leon did the catching last night. There it is. Stay out there.
Yep. Well, and it goes inside to Rutledge with 2 strikes, and that's when he hit it off the end of the bat. But it's backdoor, and if you can get that call, and he throws the slider better to the outside part of the plate to right-handers than he does the fastball.
And that pitch that he's throwing, that backdoor slider, because it's a little outside already, but it's also coming from further outside to a right-handed hitter. It looks like it's 4 feet away.
Yeah, exactly. And then break sharply, and all you have to do is just give up on it as a hitter ever so slightly, and it's going to be there.
There it is again, and this one is lined to left. Canna's going to play it on a hop. So I'm going to give Christian Vasquez a whole bunch of credit. He may have been looking out there, and he just lined it to right field. So 3 hits in the inning. Bullpen move today made by the A's. John Axford reinstated from the 10-day disabled list. That's the good news, but there's always bad news. Ryan Dull, right knee has been bothering him, and he is placed on the 10-day disabled list. Daniel Migden, he's headed to Nashville, so Migden looks like he's healthy as well. So a little insurance policy in the starting rotation with Migden down in AAA.
But he has to be wondering what if. because he was at Fan Fest, everything fine, and it's working out. Broke his foot. He told me when he was here that he had some sort of fracture for the last couple of years, and it just really got worse to the point, but he was pitching with that. So maybe getting healthy is going to help him. He came to camp initially. It would have been the camp as a possibility to make the rotation.
Two 2-0 the count to Devin Marrero.
So Dallas Keuchel was put on the 10-day disabled list today.
Yes, he was.
So I mean, the 10-day DL is something, and well, you're seeing more and more shoulder problems. But at least 10 days for a starting pitcher, it's one start typically. And if the case of Garrett Richards turned out to be a lot more than just a little stiffness, and same with Aroldis Chapman. Some big names going on the DL.
And Keuchel was a pinched nerve in his neck.
Yeah.
Inside, so 3-0 to the 9th place hitter. Astros are just underway against the Cleveland Indians. Myers and Clevenger, the starting pitchers there. No score in the top of the 2nd inning. So that's a good matchup. Two good teams. Astros 29-13. That's the best record in all of baseball. Indians in 2nd place behind the Twins by 1 game in the Central. Indians are 21-19. So we'll keep an eye on that game going on down at Minute Maid Park. So now 3-2.
As a catcher, Kite, you look at his sliders to the right here is his best pitch today. Fastball inside, maybe, but he's missed in it because the home plate umpire Chad Whitson on the left shoulder of Josh Fegley, so he can see the inside part of the plate.
Foul back. So 3-2 off speed pitch, huh?
Yes, indeed. See the fastball and the changeup with the slider. All 3 pitches are good enough to throw at any time. And today it seems like the slider is one of his better pitches.
Vasquez, the runner at first, he'll take off. There he goes, and it's a swing and a miss with a fastball up and away. First strikeout of the afternoon for Sean Manaea, but the Red Sox get a pair, so they lead 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 2nd.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Provident Credit Union Super Reward Checking. We pay you.
So 2-0 Red Sox lead, bottom of the 2nd inning. Short sleeves today, t-shirts today, ice cream today, lemonade today.
Bring it all up.
Maybe a cold beverage.
Okay, somebody said the food trucks had some great ice cream. We've never seen any ice cream. And today, since it's your birthday, you should have some ice cream.
That's a very strong idea by you, Ray.
And maybe some dessert, some ice cream, and frozen custard. We understand. Thank you very much.
Well, you know what? If our telecast is on that big screen out there, you would guess that the volume would be up, so maybe they hear us.
See, I've been told it's the radio feed though, and so
that hurts my feelings.
It does hurt because they should shift it today to TV because it's your birthday.
It hurts my feelings.
Yeah,
and that's nothing against our very fine radio broadcasters who are two of the best in the business.
But see, if Joe was up to his part instead of just sitting there on his phone all day, that he could go get some food for us at the food trucks, and
or BI, our terrific stats man, who there's nothing, it wouldn't be crazy for him to take a half inning off, and he could buy us some ice cream.
We'd even pay for it since it's your birthday. But even Bill over there on the camera, the high home.
Bill.
That's an inside joke. Sorry, Mikey.
It's a good day. We're having fun today.
Yeah, it's Kai's birthday.
That's right. It feels like summer's here.
Yeah.
It's very warm weather. 2-2 to Trevor Plouffe. Foul straight back.
See, the way Trevor Plouffe is swinging a bat in a day like today. See, he's played. He's upset he just missed that fastball, but he's going to realize this is starting to warm up. You see the ball carrying daytime, and he's got the power. 6 home runs on the season, first year with the A's, and swinging the bat well.
He's got a 10-game hitting streak. He's inside. During the hitting streak, he's 15 for 37.
Think he's parking in the same stall out in the F lot, like the skipper.
That's a good call.
Why not? That's a good take.
So a 3-2 breaking ball, and Plouffe, the leadoff man, is aboard here in the second inning. And let's see what's going on today with Angela.
I'll get you some ice cream, Glenn.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank
you know, you share the same birthday as with Adam Rosales. He's 28 today. Well, yesterday morning, Ryan Healy paid a visit to Cleveland Elementary School as part of Youth Sports Nation's Play Ball Tour. Stomper was on hand. Ryan got to chat with the kids, and he was all smiles, grooving to the beat. Their program included 3 principles of Youth Sports Nation, which is get your education, love your parents, and respect your elders. Guys, back up to you.
Indeed. Ryan Healy's a good man.
Great. That's good.
Ryan Healy's fun to talk to. Start talking baseball with him, and he's into it.
Yes, he
He's
is
interested. He wants to tell you what he's thinking, and it's
I want to say
kind of nice.
There's a guy who wore that number here for 11 years, hit 363 home runs, and I think Ryan Healy wearing 25 is capable of doing the same, if not more. And as Dave Cavill said last night with the new stadium, they're going to keep these young players, and A's fans going to see these players for many, many years to come. And they're just going to get better and better. Well, the left-handed hitters are pitchers. He's at 385 with 3 home runs, and they pitch him down. He just drops the head of the bat. He's so strong. Almost hit the right-hander Kimbrel last night for a walk-off.
0-2 pitch. Quick throw back to first as Plouffe wandered off a little ways, but he was able to get back.
Scatter reports are so important, and one of them is about this young man Vasquez behind the plate. He loves to throw. You've seen it, and he's very quick, especially with a right-handed batter. And actually, he picked off his first baseman, Rutledge,
a little bit,
and he was letting him know, hey, pay attention. And that's what you have to do as a first baseman with a catcher who loves to throw, because you have to be very aware. And Jackie Bradley robbed him. Kimbrel thought he'd given it up. Ryan Healy thought, as a matter of fact, Kimbrel said, I'm going to walk off whether it's a third out or a home run, regardless. And he was pumped to thank his center fielder, Bradley, who I understand from Joe Castiglione, who says he does that a lot. He knows how to play center field. And Ryan Healy hit the same ball today, and you could trot around the bases. I think with the left-handed pitcher, so he gets the day off today.
Chad Pinder is the on-deck hitter. And Healy swings at a pitch in the dirt. So that's the third strikeout for Pomeranz.
You know, when Plouffe took the curveball 3-2 in the dirt, I was thinking of Chris Sale last night, who threw it very hard, a little bit different, because the curveball from Pomeranz, while it's a different it's not thrown as hard, and you're trying to pick up the spin. Right, see the rotation as a hitter. If you can see that and know that it's going down, it's going to be out of the strike zone, and you try to hold up your swing. Of course, easier said than done, because you commit. It's very difficult to lay off a pitch like that.
First pitch to Pinder, fastball on the inside corner for a strike. Pinder 1 for 7 in this series, getting a chance to play with, as Ray mentioned earlier, the A's facing 3 consecutive left-handers. That started last night. Before that, the A's had faced 10 straight right-handed starters. So that ended on Thursday night. Young man pitching tomorrow. Eduardo Rodriguez is a left-hander.
Look at that guy.
There's your good friend.
Yeah. Ice cream and dibs.
Pinder fights that one off.
Pinder last night, a little bit of a tough night, 3 strikeouts, but you know, a good attitude. He said sometimes the pitchers get you, sometimes you get the pitcher. He knows that today's a new day, and get the opportunity, day game after night game, to face another lefty. And so you got Chris Sale one night, Drew Pomeranz the afternoon, and see what happens with Rodriguez tomorrow.
Looks to me like Ray, like I've seen Pinder show pretty good power to center field and right center, and that ball's hit to left center a little bit. But I think the thing with Pinder is his power the other way. It almost looks like now you're starting to see teams pitch him in.
Right. They'll adjust. Absolutely. And Velasquez made a mistake, threw him a hanging breaking ball on the first pitch, and he just reacted. And there goes in again. Just like you said, and that's a good call, because you watch what a hitter does, and if you're catching, as Vasquez and Leon caught last night, but you talk and you see what a hitter does on certain pitches, and you know, it's the old thing, you stay one way until he proves he can hit it, then you go some other way, and they keep exposing various areas, and as a hitter you have to make an adjustment almost pitch to pitch, sometimes that quickly.
Goes upstairs with a fastball, full count. Fegley to follow.
Well, he threw Plouffe a 3-2 curveball. There they are. Ready to go. Play some music. See, if Plouffe does run, which it's, who knows, if he does run, it's more of a make sure he throws to the plate, the pitcher, and Pinder has to make contact. So there's a lot against the runner at first base taking off.
They're not going, and the pitch missed inside.
See, that it's a right-handed pitcher. It's a little bit different, because a runner might be able to get a better jump unless you can really pick up the move.
Batting eighth and catching.
John Farrell has to be happy with the velocity of his starting pitcher today, because had some injuries.
Yeah, we started to talk a little bit about Palmer. Now, he has not been on the disabled list this year. That's not really what we're talking about as far as injuries go, but he left his last start in the 4th inning with some tightness in his left tricep. And then he said, you know what, I feel okay. So he's back out there today, but I'm sure they're keeping a close eye on him. There's that good curveball from Palmer.
Let's not forget also, when he was traded from San Diego, there was some question about his health then. And
right.
General manager for the Padres took a big hit. And so, I mean, physicals are important, but also disclosure of injuries that might be hampering a particular player, pitcher, or position player.
Taps slowly out in front. Pomeranz doesn't pick it up. And the ball is thrown down the right field line. 1 run scores. Here comes Pinder. They're waving him home. He's going to score. And Fegley stops at third.
Now, Kipe, what I just saw was the home plate umpire, Chad Whitson, do the safe sign, because there's always a concern about the runner running down the baseline and if there's interference.
Hold on now. The umpires are putting the runners back at second and third, and Bob Melvin's going to immediately come out and argue.
What if something happened in the bullpen?
The first runner, Plouffe, he scored.
Well, Mike Winters, did he see something that happened down in the bullpen? The check swing, Vasquez is pointing to first base, but then he had to field and throw off balance. And see if something happened down in the bullpen. Fegley running, you have to stay inside the running lane so you're not interfering with the catcher's throw. And missed by Rutledge.
I think Bob Melvin just got thrown out as he's got a pretty good beef going with Mike Winters.
Unless something happened in the bullpen, there's no reason to put the runners back.
So where did the ball land?
Uh-oh.
No, Bob Melvin has been ejected arguing. They must have called it a dead ball down there in the bullpen.
When Betts put up his hands, the ball, and you notice that the chair remained, it was down, and they've been told, ball boys, security guys, pick up your chair and take it with you.
And as we found out in Seattle on a play there, whatever happens with the chair, it's in play.
It's in play, exactly. But when Betts put up his arms, Mike Winters saw that. I was more concerned about the play being called running down the first baseline.
So a run does come in to score. It's 2-1. It's a crazy play. Let's see if we can find out where the ball ends up here.
It gets past Rutledge into the runner and then down the line. And so Mike Winters is over here, the third base. He's the chief. Now Betts saying now that, but see, the ball boy left his chair. And there are 2 chairs there. It should be 1 unless there are 2 people in the chairs.
So it goes. There's 1 run scoring, and it's a single and an E2 is the ruling. Kind of a crazy play, and he's got to make sure that they end up, when it's all said and done, getting Pinder home here. Otherwise, it'll be frustrating.
Exactly. Well, Bob Melvin did not like the call because they have the ground rules.
Salas rolls it foul, and if there's a 2x4 there down by the feet, and it's put there, so if the ball goes down there, it bangs off that 2x4. Now, if it were to go behind the 2x4, well, then it's a dead ball.
Yeah, they see it right there.
There you go.
It's very thick. Trying to get the.
But if that ball somehow gets behind that 2x4 and under the bench, then it is a dead ball. So the count 1-2 to Adam Rosales. And he chased a high fastball, and Pomeranz gets a big strikeout. So 4 strikeouts for Drew Pomeranz, and that was a big one.
Now, especially under the circumstances, that high fastball, and that's why he throws so many breaking balls. You think about it, infield was back.
So now it's up to Rajai Davis to see if he can come through. Rajai Davis struck out looking in the first inning. Pinder at third, Fegley at second. Rajai's bunt, and it's a good one. And it's going to get a run home, and Rajai's safe. Nicely done by Rajai Davis.
What a thing of beauty.
I don't know why guys don't do that.
I agree. Because Rajay, and they're playing him back at third base, so shockingly, Marrero back there. Of course, once he's played his back as far as he is, Rajay said, "Thank you very much. I'll get it down. You're not going to throw me out." Fender scores, tie game. But you know, with 2 outs, you assume the guy's not going to bunt. But come on, it's opening up very widely.
Now batting right fielder, number 20, Mark Canha.
So this is the argument between Bob Melvin and Mike Winters. Mike Winters throws him out.
Why didn't he do it to his face? Why did he have to turn his back before he threw him out? Because if you're looking at a guy and you're hearing it, he's talking in your face. Throw him out there. Don't wait till he turns his back.
So there's your manager. Yeah. The acting manager is Mark Kotze, and he will be in contact with Bob Melvin. Here's Canha.
Oh, Rajay, what a great bunt. That was a thing of beauty.
I do. I mean, listen, if you have decent speed, I'm not saying if you're, some giant power hitter, but I get surprised that even guys who do hit home runs, where if they're a left-handed hitter and there's a big overshift on and there's a guy at third, you don't have to have a perfect bunt.
Exactly.
Rajay, I mean, he had to lay down a pretty nice bunt because the infield was playing a normal spot.
Well, and also the fact that Palmer is a left-hander, he's falling towards third, and that's where the bunt was. But I mean, he didn't even go after the check swing with Fegley. Reacted very slowly, and on the bunt, maybe Rajay noticed that, how slowly he reacted on the check swing.
Rajay runs, throw to second base, not in time.
Well, Mark Canha came very close to being called for interference as he went across. Vasquez came out quickly, and Canha cross the plate just enough. Actually faked the bunt, but you walk over towards the plate, and the catcher makes contact. Ooh. Hurry up and throw. See Rajay going to the side. Yeah, he missed him completely.
Just missed him.
Just bad. If he got him on the foot, he's out. But great slide by Rajay. You see where Canha went? I mean,
that's pretty close.
It's too close, because sometimes, and I know I've been told by umpires, that even if you have to change the direction as a catcher, it's interference. Having to throw over the hitter, you don't have to make contact. I think Eddie Montague said that one time. But Rajay, good jump, able to steal. Vasquez upset he didn't throw him out, but he had to hurry because the great jump by Rajay on the Ricky Henderson field.
The Red Sox have to be concerned with Pomeranz at 52 pitches, and again, he left his last start in the 4th inning. In his first inning, he was fine. So the count at 2-1. Canha hit a fly ball to left field, hit it pretty well in the first inning. After hitting a foul ball that was just fouled on the left field line, would have been a home run if it had stayed fair. Curve, and that's a good one.
Boy, that just floated in, and it's hard to look curveball and hit a fastball, and especially now with 2 strikes. But man, this ball just floats in, and Canha, if he had hit this one as hard as he hit the one in the first inning, this would have been a home run, because it was out far enough that he wouldn't have hooked it foul.
30 pitches this inning for Drew Pomeranz.
Well, you got 2 walks, Kipe, and that's 2 walks and a couple strikeouts. And not reacting on a bunt nor a check swing. That was the big play. He reacted all on Fegley's check swing.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
That's the second out.
The air goes to Vasquez, and he did throw it away, but Pomeranz is the one who really kind of messed up the play.
But especially Vasquez was running out from behind the plate, pointing to first base. Figured he was going to get it, and then he had to react quickly and make the play.
2-2 pitch, in and out of the glove of Vasquez to keep the count even.
Curveball again, the knuckle curve. You can see the great center field shot. The knuckle kind of turned from You guys throw the seams, the curveball, and that's why maybe Rich Hill has the blister on his middle finger. The knuckle curve is thrown by Pomeranz.
Fegli at third, Davis at second. Shallow right field. Betts over and in. He's got it. Side retired. So crazy inning. The A's end up scoring twice on a couple of walks and a couple of hits. So as we go to the third, we are now tied at 2. Heather Ajewski from the front office being kind enough to bring us some custard.
It's not even my birthday.
That's
it's yours
all right.
birthday.
If it's my birthday, it's your birthday.
As we scarf
it was delicious.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Can't wait till this inning's over to have some more. Now that's
this
good.
doggone game is getting in the way, huh? Oh.
Well, at least the A's were able to tie it, and we hope the skipper is somewhere, maybe down in Diamond level, to be able to.
He's getting some custard.
Maybe he's having good food, but he's into the game. He wants to win and have good food later.
Manaea faces Betts, Pedroia, and Bogaerts here in the third. Touch high, 1-2 the count. Betts lined out to Manaea to open up the ball game.
You know, if you're a pitcher, you get a reprieve, get a gift run. Should have had 2 anyway, and a runner at third, but still you get it back to tied and take it from there. And it was the third through the fifth that Manaea retired 10 consecutive batters. So after the first 2 innings, a 2-run last inning. So he's way ahead of the game from his last start in Seattle.
In the air to right, room for Canna, and he's got it. Always good to keep the speedy Mookie Betts off the bases.
Pretty good leadoff hitter for John Farrell, the Red Sox. Mookie Betts.
Number 15, Dustin Pedroia.
He could be there a long time. I think of the great Tommy Harper, who is a great leadoff hitter, could steal bases for the Red Sox at a time when they didn't steal bases, but he did.
Tommy Harper.
Yeah, that's good.
I think Tommy Harper, when the Seattle Pilots moved to Milwaukee and became the Brewers, which was a big deal if you lived in Wisconsin. Tommy Harper was one of the first Brewer players that was kind of a star.
Absolutely.
He was there for a very short time.
Yeah, but he was good.
He may have been there the first year in Milwaukee, 1970. Yeah.
Great speed, great person. Actually, he was working for the Red Sox don't know if he's still there, but he's working in the minor leagues in base stealing. Base running, base stealing, and one of the best.
0-2 to Dustin Pedroia, who popped out to the second baseman.
I'll say Harper was with the Orioles when he played him in the League Championship Series, because he ran hard there too. Ran a lot.
Pedroia takes just a bit inside.
Similar pitch that he swung and blooped to second base in his first at bat. This one a little bit lower than that pitch. But you figure he's going to put the bat on the ball. And when that happens, good things can happen.
That's a good take right there. It's a hard slider. Not an easy pitch to lay off of, especially with 2 strikes.
And he started, and the difference in the first inning, that pitch a little bit higher, and he just flipped his bat at it and popped it up. That recognized that it was out of the strike zone.
3-2 pitch, belted down the left field line. Foul.
That was off speed, got out in front. I would think, and we talked last night in this series so far about David Ortiz retiring last year and middle part of the lineup. But there's certain guys, I mean, even Pedroia hitting second, sometimes leading off.
Canna coming in and over, and he's got it.
And I think your point last night about how it changes the dynamics of the entire lineup, everybody around David Ortiz. And I think it's true in the case of Pedroia and
Now batting,
Bogarts are hitting in positions really they'd never hit before, because David Ortiz was right in the middle of the lineup. Big Poppy, the nickname, number 34.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, how much they miss him. I mean, you knew they were going to miss him from a number standpoint, but the leaders last year for the Red Sox, after 41 games in home runs and RBIs, was David Ortiz, 11 and 41.
That's incredible.
This year, 7 and 27 from Mookie Betts. Think about the difference.
Yeah.
So Ortiz had a terrific season last year, but I mean, it's noticeable in a whole bunch of different ways.
7 games over 500 this year. They had to play today 1 over.
You see the slugging percentage, the difference there, and you know, you're talking about Mookie Betts, who's a very good player. Healy grabs it on the line, and a good 3-up, 3-down inning for Manaea. Bottom of the third coming up. It's a good day at the ballpark for a whole bunch of reasons.
and get ready for the Budweiser $4 fork.
Back the clock to the early 2000s on Saturday, July the 1st. Team will wear black jerseys from the era, and 15,000 fans will receive a dual bobblehead of Miguel Tejada and Barry Zito presented by New Era Caps. For tickets to this game against the Braves, visit athletics.com/promotions. MVP Cy Young Award 2002.
Lowry, a line drive backhanded by Pedroia for the first out.
And Jed Lowry again hitting the ball hard. He singled in his first at bat with 2 outs. Almost did the same leading off the third. Just as a reminder and a note, talk to the great Steve Vucinich, longtime historian, 50th season with the Athletics. He and Connie Mack, the only two in the history of the A's franchise. Steve told me that July the 1st would be the turn back the clock, but July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, special uniforms for the 4th of July, and also for Memorial Day when the A's are back in Cleveland, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, New York and Cleveland. 3 days the A's and team players will wear Memorial Day camouflage and recognizing the soldiers, the military, but we saw it on Mother's Day where they wore them Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. And they're doing the same. So who said 13 different jerseys will be worn throughout this season, and those days in particular will honor the military with those special uniforms.
1-2 the count to Chris Davis.
Yeah, that's a long time ago there. That's a Charles O. Finley and not the Mule.
It's a good one though.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Nobody else had uniforms like that.
No. Many tried, most failed. But Charles O. Finley, pullovers, Oakland on the front. See, when I was traded to Oakland, Charlie said, you know, I want you to come to Mesa to take pictures in the uniform. And I said, so why can't I have number 8? Because on the front it said Oakland. There's no number on the front. But that was Charlie Finley just being Charlie Finley.
He was just being difficult.
Yeah.
He was putting his foot down on the new guy.
He wanted me to wear number 10 like Dave Duncan, who he traded to Cleveland for. Because I wore 8 in Cleveland. Wanted 8 here. Said, no, wear 10 because they're taking pictures. Well, numbers on the back, Charlie. I was just happy to be here. Didn't want to be traded, but just like your brother. Your brother and I probably the only 2 players that ever wanted to stay in Cleveland their whole career. And both traded to the West Coast, and
it both turned out pretty darn good for you guys.
Turned out great.
We'll be in Cleveland soon.
Memorial Day, the next road trip. Next weekend in New York, Cleveland for 4-game series. And those start times are 6:15 local, which is
a little bit earlier. That's right. Chris Davis, a shot off the glove of Pomeranz. It goes right to Bogaerts, who throws him out. Well, that'll be frustrating because that ball was headed to center field, but Pomeranz just got enough on it, and he not only slowed it down, but the ball angled right to the shortstop after it hit his glove.
And only because he's a left-handed thrower, the glove on his right hand. Tried to catch it, but you're right. Off the big glove, deflected off towards the end, right over to Bogaerts. And Chris Davis robbed.
So 2 outs for Plouffe. First pitch is bounced foul.
Well, it's just like last night. The Red Sox with an early 2-0 lead. The A's battle back and gets a tough Chris Sale, a run in the 5th, run in the 6th, and bullpens for the 2 clubs, but the A's did a great job. Kept it at 2. There's Kelly and Kimbrel did a great job. Fortunately, the A's got to Embry in the 10th. At least one guy did.
Plouffe walked and scored in that 2nd inning, which was the long inning for Pomeranz. Threw over 30 pitches.
He wanted the strike call there. Looked like a better pitch than some that Manaea has been throwing, but not called a strike.
Fastball is high, now 3-1. Pomeranz with 24 pitches in the 1st inning, 32 pitches in the 2nd inning. better here in the third. This is his 14th pitch this inning. And a good fastball, 3-2.
Trevor Plouffe knew he's going to get a fastball. He just swung a little bit too hard. Maybe opened up a little bit.
Down the right field line into the seats. Fan had it. His one big moment. It had arrived. And he missed it. He will never, ever have that opportunity again.
Because somebody's going to look at him and say, we have it on video, and you're going to see it for the rest of your life. Can't hide.
Oh, he's going to get another shot. So what's the old joke, Ray? Hit you in a bad spot, the hands? See, you never played college baseball. You went right to the minor leagues. But college baseball, they come up with some of the worst lines of all time.
Oh, no.
Man.
And then it's a close-up in Exmo. Even worse, because that DVR is better disconnected.
Benintendi grabs it, and Pomeranz settles down, has a 3-up, 3-down inning. We're moving to the fourth. It's a 2-2 game, A's and Red Sox. Playoff coverage. It all starts on NBC Sports Bay Area. Coming up tonight at 5 o'clock, get ready for Game 3 versus the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio. Get ready with the team you've watched all season long. Papa, Saint, Kalena, Roz, and Monty Poole. So Game 3 tonight. Good luck to the Warriors. Warriors are 10-0 in the postseason. And going back to toward the end of the regular season when the Warriors played great down the stretch, they have won 25 of their last 26 games.
Do you really need to say good luck? They're just good.
No, it's you know what? That's exactly right. The Cleveland Cavaliers in the postseason, 10-0.
Isn't that amazing?
The Warriors, 10-0.
So you think they're going to meet?
Hanley Ramirez steps in, leading it off here in the fourth. He homered in the second. It was his 6th of the year. And he went around on the 0-2 pitch. Pitch was well in the dirt. Second strikeout for Minaya. And let's check in with Angela.
Guys, I had a chance to speak to John Axford before the game, and we spoke about his first stint on the DL ever and coming back. And he said what he took most out of his experience was that he bounced back well, and having his lat and shoulder healthy and back into the regular routine of the season felt good. And he also told me that he had some hittles last night. It was the first time in a long time that he's had sugar. He has a huge sweet tooth and loves desserts, and he even made pie for his family on Easter. Guys, back up to you.
Well, at least he's keeping busy, and that's important. First time on the disabled list, he probably didn't know what the heck was going on.
Is that a Skittle pie or a Hittle pie?
I think it was separate, although Skittles are the thing now.
I cannot believe that he admitted that he had not had a sugar in a long time. And we just had sugar.
I was going to say, you know, you and I haven't had sugar in about 42 seconds.
And it was good.
It was good.
And that's from what? It was a truck, right? Food truck? One of the
frozen custard trucks outside.
And so if you're watching, you're going to come to the game. See, that's what people are doing. They're coming to watch A's baseball, then realizing food trucks are out there, Championship Plaza, and oh, by the way, some baseball. But good food, whether in the Coliseum with the food trucks, and you should take advantage of it.
A liner, Rosales leaps, can't get it. That was a shot by Young, so he's 2 for 2. And here's Benintendi.
Jammed on a ball to right field, turns into a double this pitch, and they just got that little drop down to the elbow and elevates the fastball. And you saw the previous hitter, Ramirez, striking out on the slider in the dirt, and that seems to be the place to pitch him. And for Manaea, once he starts getting the slider and the fastball down instead of elevated like that, he's going to be a much different pitcher. Still a baby, still a youngster when it comes to pitching, but he is good and just going to get better.
Yeah, he really did not spend a lot of time in the minor leagues, Sean Manaea. Good slider there to Benintendi. Indians have a 2-0 lead over the Astros. That game in the 5th inning. Tonight, the White Sox and the Mariners will go at it. Pelfrey for Chicago, Gallardo for Seattle. Angels are in New York again to take on the Mets. That game will start a little after 4 o'clock. Meyer and Wheeler, the matchup there. See where the Angels signed Doug Fister.
Yes, they did.
So finally, Doug Fister, pretty good pitcher, has a job. He's going to start out in the minor leagues. And
well, he had to agree to it, and I thought it was an interesting story because we had talked about he was not going to take anything but a major league contract. But he hadn't pitched because he didn't know if he's going to pitch, and he agreed after he signed a major league contract to go to the minor leagues and get pitching ready.
Sure.
Otherwise, you can't start at the big league level having not pitched. So at least he has a home in the Angels, a team that desperately needs some starting pitching.
Benintendi grounds it. Lowry has it. Shuffles to second for one, on to first. Not quite in time. Fielder's choice for Benintendi.
Ball jam Benintendi, and enough that Jed Lowry set himself up perfectly to feed to Adam Rosales. Because Chris Young on top of Rosales, he got out of the way, and even his strong arm could not get the speedy hitter.
Now batting.
See, there's your difference right there, where the runner has to go straight into the bag. And you know, it's going to be difficult to double up Benintendi anyway, but if you cannot veer away from headlong into the bag, it makes a tremendous difference, especially for the middle infield to be able to turn a double play.
Here's Rutledge, strike on the inside corner. Rutledge had an RBI ground out in the 2nd inning. Benintendi does have 3 steals on the year, and that one is line foul. Texas Rangers are in Detroit tonight. They have a 10-game winning streak on the line. It'll be A.J. Griffin 4-0 against Justin Verlander 3-3. So the Rangers are just smoking hot. Started against the A's.
Yeah. And it was in Detroit in 2002 where the A's thought their streak, which ultimately ended at 20, would be ending in that series. But thanks to John Mabry, a shot to right center,
right.
driving in, bases loaded. Joe Blanton started, and the rest is history.
That's right. Rangers halfway to the A's record. Rangers now 23-20, 6.5 games behind the Astros.
And for the Astros, as the A's remember with the Angels in 02, the worst thing is to play as well as you are and hear somebody right breathing down your neck, and you can't really put that much space. I mean, if the Rangers had been playing 500 baseball during that time, just look at the record and the distance between the Astros and them.
And that one right off the glove of Fegley. So it puts a runner in scoring position. So let's see if that ball was in the dirt.
It's a backdoor slider, and I think he just gave up on it. Just clanked it.
So
it should not be difficult to call that a pass ball.
there's the AL West. See the Angels 8 back, Mariners 9.5, and the A's 10. So 2-2 the count to Rutledge. And now a full count.
They will never do it, but that block should negate the pass ball.
That's a good one. Yeah. You can if you do something good, you can eliminate the
but
pass
no,
ball.
it never happens statistically. But it's a big pitch now because the runner is in scoring position versus first base.
Three-two pitch, a line drive right at Rosales, who grabs it, side retired. Now the Red Sox strand a runner in scoring position. We are going to the bottom of the fourth. It'll be Healy, Pinder, and Fegley. 2-2 game.
Tuesday, May the 23rd, the ballpark gates will open at 4:30 p.m. 1 hour earlier than usual for all remaining Tuesdays to allow fans the opportunity to do something special. That's watch the A's take batting practice. Tuesdays also feature free parking at the ballpark as part of Chevy Free Parking Tuesday. You also get to watch the coaches, especially Chip Hale, all over the place, hitting ground balls. And it's a fun time to watch batting practice. And boy, you have an opportunity now as a fan to come out early. And it'd be nice to see when the gates open at 4:30, 2.5 hours before the game. You'll see the players, the A's players on the field. And that man right there, Chipper, will be running around and hitting ground balls and throwing BP. And a passionate young man for the game of baseball.
Healy, Pinder, and Fegley here in the bottom of the fourth inning. It's a 2-2 ball game. There's Chip, make a play. Not an easy hop.
Pick. He's got Miguel Tejada's number 4. Yeah, you got to get the good hop back there, boy, Chipper. Oh, right, he took it in the gut. Oh. And see, if that guy down the right field line had learned that, he might have gotten a foul ball. See, Chipper brought the hands in, took it off the gut. And he's smiling. He said, "Boy, that hurt."
He said something to Mike Winters, and it was like, Mike's like, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood to talk today. There's a line drive and a base hit to center field.
And, you know, that was a great at bat because Ryan Healy opened up and pulled the curveball foul. But the last swing, watch him stay inside. This is a curveball, and watch the hand. Stays inside and stayed inside so much that he took the curveball right back up the middle instead of getting top hand and pulling the ball. It takes a solid single up the middle and a 2-strike hit to start the inning. That's a good piece of hitting for a young man who is going to get better and better and better.
So leadoff man aboard. Here's Pinder. Pinder, good swing, fouls it right back up over the backstop.
I see to your point about Chad Pinder getting more fastballs in. We'll see as time progresses if he'll start cheating a little bit, looking in there, and why not? Because if you stay inside to a hitter and he's going to pick it up, he's going to learn. Vasquez trying to fool him, and he's going to stay in there.
Well, if he throws it that far inside, it's not inside anymore.
No,
it's actually outside.
Yeah.
He was calling for it
That's it.
behind Pinder. I don't know that I've seen that.
And usually they go the opposite. They'll do that inside and move outside, but Vasquez stayed right there.
Healy short lead at first. Popped up right side. There's the sunshine. Rutledge looking up, fighting it, and he makes the catch.
His glasses on top of his head. That's always good.
Yeah.
Good place for them.
Never made much sense to me.
No, and using the glove, and you see the sun brightly shining in his face, and it will tend to start to move that direction. And nothing really Healy could do. If the ball drops, he's going to be forced at second. Yeah, those always look good on top. You see the flip downs, those are good. Joya with the wraparounds.
First pitch to Fegley is in first strike.
You've heard me talk often about catcher moving a little bit too soon and how the on-deck hitter could help by just having a sign. Because the way Vasquez is moving inside, it's going to be 1 or 2 pitches, but the location is important. Fastball or curveball inside. And if he moves too soon.
Base hit left field. So Fegley's 2 for 2.
Hey, Adam Rosales, happy birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday, Adam Rosales.
Happy birthday, Glenn Kuiper.
Buddies for life.
Oh, boy. Look at that. Is that a selfie, or you got somebody taking it?
No. Voos took it for us.
What?
You know what? If I'm going to celebrate my birthday with anybody,
That's right. It's a good man.
Adam Rosales is a good man. One of the good guys.
Yep. Keeps the right foot in the batter's box while the pitcher's getting set, and then he jumps in and have a good day on your birthday.
Oh, come on now.
Who is that guy? Is that you?
Man,
Is that you?
what did I have on?
Alpaca.
Man, that is a bad look.
That was you?
Yeah.
Didn't even look like you.
I'm guessing that was 1989 or 1990. 1990.
Where were you?
Scoreboard show. Spell it with one N, but that's okay.
That doesn't even look like you, man. Yeah, I spelled the name right. Huh?
That's right.
That's
All
good.
right. I want to know where that 1990 picture came from. Somebody's holding back.
Yeah. Maybe the same people that you go to in Cleveland.
And we're going back.
Yeah.
Probably should look through the Ray Fosse files again. And we actually haven't looked through the files for like 5 years in There could be some new stuff in there.
Gotta stay away from that. I have to talk to Bobby DiBiasio and say no.
I got other people I go to in Cleveland for my history goodies. Who knows? 2-1 the count to Rosales. He's need a hit. That one tapped, just foul.
Well, the curveball to the righties that Pomeranz has thrown a lot. It's a good pitch, but it has to be thrown just right, because right-handers see the ball coming in. If it breaks too much, they'll pull it foul. But if it stays out, it can be hit hard. And the pitch count's gotten to Pomeranz because there's bullpen activity in just the 4th inning.
87 pitches. So we now, for the first time, have action out in the bullpen. And that one pops in and out of the glove of Vasquez. So Rosales will see another pitch.
Adams struck out on a high fastball his first at bat. This high fastball again, and just changed direction enough off the webbing. Vasquez catcher's mitt.
Ben Taylor is warming up. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Pomeranz dotted that outside corner for his 5th strikeout. So pretty good location right there.
Well, it's just starting. Please don't be a strike, because he frozen me. I can't pull the trigger, and knuckle curve outside corner. Rosen watched it and hoping that Chad Whitson wouldn't call it a strike, but he did.
So 2 outs, and here's Rajai Davis. Davis struck out in the first and had a bunt single in the second. He did it with a runner at 3rd and 2 outs, so it knocked in a run. First pitch to Rajai Davis, almost hit him.
Fastball and get rid of it. It's kind of fun. Just don't see it anymore.
Nope. A little bit outside to Rajai Davis. Four for 11 in the series is Davis. There's Taylor, who's been out there a while now. Problems with Pomeranz when he was with the A's, he pitched pretty well, but when he would start, he would do a good job, but he just could not pitch deep into games. He'd be at 100 pitches in 5 innings, and that's what's happening today.
Might get there before 5.
Yep.
And it might be batter to batter. If Roger gets on, Canada, the next hitter, might be a new pitcher.
And now 3-1. 93 pitches in 3 2/3 innings. Swing and miss right at him with a fastball, 90 miles an hour. So now full count.
7th 3-2 count today for him. That's why it's taken a long time, throwing a lot of pitches, and you know, really it's a 50-50 shot from the hitter standpoint. Do you get a fastball? Do you get a curveball? And that's why fastball is not thrown that hard, especially as he's approaching 100 pitches. But Bottom line, it's a sneaky fastball because you're maybe thinking curveball. And he might get a 3-2.
Runners go, and the pitch fouled straight back and went with a fastball. Vasquez will chat with his pitcher. Palmerins had a 3-up, 3-down inning in the third. But very long first inning, long second inning, and a long fourth inning. Two pitch, emergency swing by Rajai Davis, and he'll live to see another pitch. Maybe looking for something else, and Palmerins came inside.
Fastball, yeah.
Chris Sale had another good performance last night, got a no decision.
He's happy to be sitting next to Mitch Morley. He hit the 2-run home run. Gave the 2-0 lead, but the A's tied it fortunately.
Runners go, and a fastball swing and a miss by Rajai Davis. Side retired. A's strand a pair, and we are on to the fifth. It's a 2-2 game between the A's and the Red Sox. And the Athletics. Well, we lost one of the great Bay Area sportscasters. Yesterday, Wayne Walker passed away. Remember Wayne Walker, the terrific sports anchor for Channel 5 for many years, was a great NFL player with the Detroit Lions. And Wayne Walker actually did the A's for a while in the late 70s, early 80s when Channel 5 was televising the Athletics.
And with Bill King, the play-by-play, Wayne was with him, and I actually sat in a game on TV when he and Bill were working because one or the other, maybe both doing football. And Bill was using some of those big words. And I remember Wayne and I looked at each other and we both, I don't know what he's talking about. Kind of gave that look. But a great man. And
Rajai Davis grabs it near the wall.
Long time in the Bay Area. And just a great man, and great football player, great person, great personality as far as the TV.
But number 17.
Remember when I was playing in Cleveland and he was playing for the Lions, and we played in the American Airlines Astrojet Golf Tournament, and I remember he was there, and Bill Freehan had been winning Gold Gloves, and I won my first one in '70 and played in the tournament. He says, "Man, I'm glad you won that." But he was such a nice guy.
He was a nice guy.
Very, very nice.
very popular in the Bay Area when he was doing his sports segments.
I mean, he was one of those football players and athletes who actually left the field and did so well in the booth.
Yes, he did.
Especially as an anchor.
And you know what's great? He wasn't yelling and screaming. He just did the sports. Nice
calm
guy. Came across as being friendly.
80 years young.
1-2 to Devin Marrero. Manaea at 70 pitches. A couple strikeouts. Has not walked anybody.
Throw the hard slider. That's what he's doing. You know, he did that in his start in Seattle. His first start back, and bases loaded the first inning. He struck out 3, walked 4, and walked a couple of guys with the bases loaded. But he got out of it because he threw the slider and threw it hard because the hitters were sitting fastball. And he gets the point that he can throw it hard, especially down and in. He's going to be unhittable, especially with his big, tall frame.
High and foul, headed down toward the Red Sox bullpen, up over top their bullpen.
Healy stopped before he got to the mound, was looking up, thinking the ball was there, and it was in the stands. Yeah, I had no idea. Put those sunglasses on your eyes. I guess the sun is not bad, and guys don't want to wear glasses unless the sun is bad. So watching Rutledge at first, and of course he did first, and maybe the sun is not bad enough that you need to wear the sunglasses. That's why that's why the flip downs are good.
Yeah.
Because you can have them up. He's got the wraparounds. I think his Bogarts had the flip down, but see, flip downs you can not look through the sunglasses all the time, and then when you look up in the sun, find the ball, flip the glasses down, and pick it up and catch it.
Count stays 2-2. The only players on the field, and I just checked in my binoculars with the Red Sox out in the field and the A's, the 2 first basemen are the guys that do not have the glasses on. Maybe it's not a bad sun from where they're looking, although Rutledge struggled a little bit with his pop-up. Healy has it hit off his body somewhere, and it shoots down the right field line. It's going to allow Marrero to go to second base. It was a hard hit ball, and it just caromed off of Healy. So we'll see what the ruling is.
Well, he got the fastball away. It went to the opposite side. You know, it's one thing to go through the legs, but
Number 50.
take it to the side and didn't use his body to knock the ball down, which is as hard as the ball was hit. Wow.
So it goes as a 2-base error. So a runner at second. That's the go-ahead run as Mookie Betts steps up.
It looks like Pomerantz is finished for the day after 4 innings. So regardless of what happens here, he's not going to qualify for the W.
Betts takes the slider that drops low.
Pomerantz got married last November when he was living back east, actually from back east, but when he played for the A's, stayed in San Francisco. Ended up marrying the girl I think he was dating during that time.
Pop up. Lowry fighting it, doesn't see it. Canna does, and Canna grabs it.
But if nothing else, Canna learned from Chris Young in the first inning. Second inning, that is. Because Lowry was fighting it. And the best thing Lowry does, watch this, he goes out and puts his hands up and said, I don't see it, guys, I don't see it. And that's the tough son, and Canna just barely made it. And that's telling everybody, I don't see it, please help me. And Mark Canna comes in and fighting the sun also, even with the sunglasses, makes the catch.
Well, there's such a big difference between the sun here in California and then when you go to the East Coast or the Midwest, there's always clouds above.
Yeah. This is as blue as you'll see and the baseball goes up into that, and there's just no background, and that's what makes it tough. High sky, as they call it, because there is nothing to back it up, and that is the blue sky as we're saying it, really in a nice shot. But you can imagine the infielders, outfielders looking up into that, trying to find the baseball, and then fighting the sun as well.
So Pedroia steps up. Remember, he's got that hit streak against the A's. It's sitting at 22 games. He's 0 for 2 today. Popped out to second and hit a fly ball to right. Yeah, there's nothing to back up that blue sky. And cloud inside. Want to know the count to Pedroia. He's 3 for 11 in the series, and that misses down and in. If you're just joining us, Bob Melvin thrown out earlier in the day. He was thrown out in the second inning. Pedroia looked like he was taken all the way. 2-1 to count.
See where Chip Hill was sitting? Right by the phone. It's almost like, okay, Skip, if you want to call, and we don't know where Bob Melvin is.
He could be in diamond level.
He could be in his diamond level. He could be in his office. But here's the phone. The phone is right above where Chip is sitting.
Pedroia, line drive just over the head of Rosales, a base hit, and the Red Sox are going to get the lead. So Pedroia got jammed into soft line drive that Rosales leaped for. He just could not quite come up with it. So 3-2 Red Sox.
And he's a tough hitter because, as we have said, he makes contact. He's going to find a way and gets on really kind of uppercuts a high fastball. And Rosie just couldn't jump high enough. And with 2 outs, runner at second because of the error. And it's unfortunate.
It's a good effort. Timed his leap pretty well. So Pedroia gets his 16th RBI. Here's Bogaerts. Slider stays away.
It's a tough call for a manager. Now that Red Sox have taken the lead, do you try to send Pomeranz out to, as Frankie Montas gets loose, for Young out to visit with Manai? His pitch count is getting up also.
So this will give Montas a little time to get ready.
But you know, manager thinks about in situations like that, I want the W. I don't care personally whether it's a win for a pitcher or some other pitcher. I just want the W, and that's what you think about more than anything.
Pomeranz, he's done for the afternoon. So 1-0 the count to Bogaerts, who has grounded out and lined out. Bogaerts is 1 for 9 in this series so far. So a little "Let's Go Red Sox" chant coming out among the crowd today. There's a strike. 20,235 is the attendance this afternoon here at Coliseum on a gorgeous day.
Talked to a gentleman, his family, of course, all Red Sox. And he said, grew up in San Diego. The Padres were horrible, so I couldn't watch them. So we became Red Sox fans. Oh, really? All the way across the country? You got 5 teams in California. Then you decide to go across the country?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Let me guess, it started in 2004.
Yeah. Yeah, a whole bunch of them started in 04.
Yes, indeed.
And since then, 3 championships. People for 80 some odd years never thought about it. Well, they didn't. Yes, what, 86?
They thought about it in 86.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. How they did not win that, I do not know.
Just wasn't meant to be.
Bogarts one around indeed. So they'll flip to first, and that is the third out. But a run for the Red Sox. Dustin Pedroia with a big 2-out RBI hit. So bottom of the fifth coming up. Red Sox 3, A's 2.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition. Stop by our newest store in Petaluma for huge grand opening deals.
3-2 Red Sox lead. It's the bottom of the fifth inning. We got a new pitcher. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. It's Ben Taylor, a right-hander. So Taylor comes on here in the bottom of the fifth inning. So Pomeranz does not get the required 5 innings for a win. For Taylor, it's his 11th appearance. No record, 3.95 ERA. He's 24 years old, 6'3", 240-pounder, Ray. Big fellow.
And not surprising, predominantly a fastball pitcher. Does throw a slider, change up, but mostly fastballs, like he's thrown the first 2.
93 miles an hour. 2 runs, 1 earned for Pomeranz in his 4 innings of work in 97 pitches. The Red Sox will ask a lot out of their bullpen today. They hold a 3-2 lead, but it's only the 5th inning. So this was interesting, Ray. Check this out. This is Pomeranz and John Farrell in between innings. So that was serious stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they were not joking around. Don't know what it was about.
It's about Pomeranz wanting to stay in the game. But 97 pitches, and it wasn't really a smooth ride for him for 4 innings. And that's what I was thinking, that manager's thinking about the win, and Pomeranz could have gone out in the 5th inning to qualify for the victory personally. But bottom line, John Farrell's lost the first 2 games of the series, and look at Gary DeSarcini as pitch coach, and decisions a manager has to make. And again, for the team, the win is the most important thing.
Canna fouled it straight back. Count stays 1-2. Canna has hit a couple of fly balls, one to left and one to right, after his 3-hit night last night. pitch for. Popped up foul territory. Rutledge shading his eyes, and Rutledge can't quite come up with it. Glasses still on top of the hat.
And you know what? One of the problems there, he looked to see how far he's going to go, and then took his glove away from his eyes, and that's when he needed the sunglasses.
The sun affected him there.
That's right. Especially after he used his glove. When he took his glove down to try to catch the ball, he couldn't find it. And for the life of me, why guys put the glasses? I mean, don't even take them out there, because they're there in the case you need them. Well, you need them. It's just a sunny day.
You know what? It makes you look bad.
Well, especially if you don't make a play like that. It should have been an out.
Another one right side. This should reach the seats, and it will.
Take it on the rebound. Yeah, don't tip your hat. That's just simply been at the right place, the right time, but you got it anyway. So nice play. Kept your beverage.
Lowry to follow, and then Davis here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Drive to left. Hit it time. And that baby is gone.
Where did that land?
Maybe it hasn't landed yet.
Mr. Rutledge at first base can take part of that, because that should have been out. Mark Canha should never have gotten a chance to hit a home run. He did, and that usually is what happens. You're hoping when you don't catch a ball that you should have caught for an out, and you let a guy get another couple of pitches, and it's a home run. It's a tie game. So nice goal, Mark Canha, and Bob Melvin wanted him to hit the second spot because he hit there a lot in his first year in 2015. Hit well. And that's a big boy home run there. Crushed it.
So Canha's hot.
By the way, that shot was of Embry in the bullpen. He's the one that gave up the home run last night in the walk-off.
There's a base hit, and Lowry beats the shift.
Well, Mark Canha just kept getting the fastballs. The fastball and the slider, he fought off the slider. They wanted a high fastball. Threw it belt high right in the middle at 93. Watch the pitcher's reaction if you get a chance to see it. Because pitchers know, Taylor knew, we all knew that ball was gone. That's a good swing. And you know, you have a hip problem, which you had last year. You had hip surgery, and you just see how the hips are moving to use the lower part of the body. And that's crushed.
That's a long one. A big boy. So 3rd home run of the year for Canha.
And there is a reason that managers would love to see a starter go 6 at least, maybe 7, because when you don't, you have to go to part of the bullpen that maybe is there, and you'd like to think as a bullpen reliever you're going to get the job done. Well, at least he got through the 5th.
Yeah. Got a handshake.
Yeah. Now hoping for more to get a W. Pitch counts are very important in the game today. Frankie Montas is really similar to Ben Taylor in a sense, coming into this part of the game. Of course, the A's wanted him in this role, Montas that is, to be kind of the bridge to get to the back end of the bullpen. Throws hard, got a hard slider. And depending on what the A's do here, try to save it for Manaea or keep it tied until the A's can score again.
1-2 the count to Chris Davis, who has struck out and grounded out. Chris Davis got a fastball up out over the plate. Today's cold hard facts are brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. These are his numbers through 40 games played. 3 homers, 14 RBIs in 2015. That was his last year with the Brewers. Last year, 12 homers, 29 RBIs. This year, 12 homers, 23 RBIs. So Same amount of home runs through 40 games each of the last 2 years. And of course last year ended up with 42, so he's right where he was last year.
But let's make it a 13 and 31. How's that? Or 25. 31, 25? That sounds like good numbers. Because Chris Davis, it just, the way he swings, like if he makes contact, the way the balls can travel today, who knows where he could hit one.
High drive, center field, and that baby's gone.
So 13 and 25.
You were right on it.
13 and 25, man. Because Chris Davis so close, and he just got it.
That one hit high off the batter's eye in deep left center field.
And that is a swing. Watch the hips. Watch the hips. Boom. Open. And that fastball, he doesn't have to try to pull the ball. That's the amazing thing about him. Way up above the camera well. And all of a sudden, Drew Pomerantz out after 4 and a 3 spot with 3 hitters in the 5th.
So a couple of home runs in the inning for the A's. A's now with 61 home runs on the year. They came into today second in the American League in home runs hit.
Chris Davis is a strong man. And you just watch and listen. We talked about the Coliseum being a bigger yard for him. There's no yard that's too big for Chris Davis.
Coming into today, the A's were 1 home run behind the Yankees.
So Dr. Schwartz came up to visit us.
Where?
Right behind us.
Dr. Elliot Schwartz.
Good man.
One of the finest men of medicine in the Bay Area. Schwartz, one of the A's team doctors. In fact, he doesn't come up here much.
No,
so
he doesn't.
Nice
That's right. I was happy to see him.
Nice to see you, Doc.
Oh, he's bringing up some information.
Uh-oh.
Is it medically involved or?
He handed it to me. Is it good or bad, Doc? Oh, we gave me a thumbs up. That's good. Man.
You know, David Renetti next door. I mean, everybody's coming up. They must have known we got some stuff from the food truck.
Wow. There's a walk to Trevor Plouffe.
There's the
There's
man.
Elliot Schwartz.
Right there. You're on TV, Dr. Schwartz. Wave. Wave to everybody, to all your fans. There you go.
Unless this report you gave me is bad, then you're going to have to leave. I think I'm okay. Thanks, Doc. So we got a pitching change. Nothing good happened to Ben Taylor in his short time. So back to the bullpen for the Red Sox. A's now leading 5-3.
Friday, June the 16th. It's presented by Ray Morgan Company. Following the Yankees-A's game, fans are invited on the field to enjoy an amazing fireworks show featuring an all-star lineup of great sing-along songs. That should be a fun night. For tickets, visit athletics.com/tickets. Sing-along songs, okay?
Not a bad idea.
Happy birthday to you.
So Ben Taylor, nothing went right. Homer, single, homer, walk, and he is out of the game.
Doesn't help your ERA at all. Mark Canha started it. KD, Chris Davis, big boy.
No Ramirez comes in. Ramirez just brought up from the minor leagues in side armor. So one appearance this year at the big league level. He went an inning and 2/3 against the Tigers. Healy hits one just up over our head. Ryan Healy, a strikeout and a single so far. Cued toward the right side. Pedroia ranging far to his left. He'll get there and throw Healy out. That's the first out of the inning. It does advance to runner Plouffe to second base. So a productive out.
Nothing against Ben Taylor, but usually if your starter goes deeper in the game. Now Ben Taylor is in the big leagues. He's got a major league uniform on. But maybe he doesn't pitch a lot because this is his role to be kind of the bridge. And Frankie Montas will try to do the same. Sean Manaea is a pitcher of record for the A's, so he'll be trying to keep it at that. But for Ben Taylor, I mean, he faces 4 batters, gives up 2 long home runs.
Runner goes trying to steal third, and that one is belted to left center field. And that baby's gone even further than the last 2.
Wow. Did that go above the sweets?
Yes, it did. They are scrambling for it above the lower level suites. That ball was crushed.
And oh, by the way, Plouffe was running on the pitch to steal third, and he could trot home. Watch this pitch. Fastball, and look where this ball lands. I would look at it also, Chad. But Vasquez is coming out to try to throw Plouffe out. Instead, Pender crushes one. And this is way up high. See the lower suites, above the lower suites. We've hit guys who had hit balls into the suites, the lower level, not over. Wow.
So 5 runs here in the 5th inning, and the A's now lead 7-3, 3 home runs in the inning. Watch where it lands.
Unbelievable.
Second row.
Above the stub, below the stub hub.
See that? I don't see a ball go up there very often. Maybe in batting practice.
Okay, I mentioned earlier, and I thought Chad Pender last night, he struck out 3 times. Runners at third, less than 2 outs. And he said, it's like I said, sometimes the pitchers get you, sometimes you get the pitchers. Today he comes back, he walks, scores a run, and hits a bomb. A 2-run home run that way up, very deep.
So 4 runs charged to Ben Taylor. He goes 0 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk. That's an ouch for the ERA. And now it's 3-1.
Trevor Plouffe still trying to get a hit, but he's walked twice, scored 2 times with walks. A's have scored 3 walks, and they have hit 3 home runs, all 3 in this inning.
And that one misses, 3-1, so it's a walk. So Fegley's been on base 3 times with 2 singles and a walk. That's 4 walks now by Red Sox pitchers. 3 of those 4 have scored.
Now batting, shortstop, number 16, Adam
Yonder Alonso at the end of the bench. He has missed this series due to a tweak in his left knee, resulted in the final game in Seattle. But the boys have picked him up. One of the hottest hitters on the ball club, not able to play in this series, but the guys have done great so far.
And Rosales, couple of strikeouts, so he's looking for his first hit. He's now have 9 hits on the day. Slider away from him. First name is pronounced Noe Ramirez. Fastball running in on Rosales. 1-2 the count. Indians still leading the Astros that game now 3-0 in the 8th inning. Mike Clevenger, the starting pitcher for the Indians, had a no-hitter through 6 innings. He does not have a no-hitter anymore, but the shutout's still intact. Two and two the count. Hit toward Pedroia. Pedroia is going to go to second to get the out there, and that's a nice play by Dustin Pedroia.
Smart play of the day brought to you by your California Ford dealers, and it's not only a great play, it is a smart play because Rajai Davis, first and third, second and third, lays down a perfect bunt, and that would score the tying run. Scored Chad Pinder, who had walked Rajai Davis with a bunt base hit. Unfortunately, in that inning, though, the skipper Bob Melvin was ejected on play that had to take the runner back, so Rajai brought him in. Actually put runners back at second and third. Rajai, a great bunt to tie the game. Smart play in many ways.
Strike to Davis. Rajai 1 for 3 overall today. Popped up. This is the tough Sun. Pedroia fighting it. And he's got it side retired. A huge inning for the Athletics. They score 5 runs total on 3 home runs, each one a little further than the last. 7-3 Aisley.
Standing from Austin, number 13, Hanley Ramirez.
So a big bottom of the 5th inning. The A's score 5 times to take a 7-3 lead. Looking to beat the Red Sox for the 3rd straight game here at the Coliseum. He's played very good baseball at home. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts, as Frankie Montas comes in. Big right-hander.
So how great the bullpen did last night, and trying to do it again this afternoon.
1-0 with a 5.40 ERA for Montas.
That one win came in one of the walk-offs. That, again, so excited about the walk-off, forgot Frankie picked up his first win. So he's trying to beat the bridge for the Athletics. There's Daniel Coulomb, the only lefty. So the A's, between the skipper Bob Melvin, who was ejected, plus Mark Kotsay, the bench coach, now acting manager. So Kurt Young, you got everybody contributing to try to pick up the win.
And Sean Manaea with the chance for a win. 3 runs, 2 earned. Did not walk anybody. That's always a good sign. Finished with 85 pitches. Pitches in for a strike. Well, not just the bullpen last night, but in this series. The bullpen in this series has gone 7 innings, has not allowed a run, and has struck out 6. And they'll have to get 4 innings worth of outs here this afternoon. Healy hustling over. Healy with the sunglasses on.
Down.
Yeah.
That's good.
What a concept.
That's right. What a concept. If you got them, wear them. It looks so nice, so much better on the eyes versus on top of the cap. You know, that green side. And so he didn't even need the gloves. Got the sunglasses. Plenty of time to catch a ball, looking right up to the sun with the sunglasses on. That's a good shot. And that's a big one, because tell you what Rutledge didn't do and can't hit the home run. Healy does do, and that's coming back from 3-0 to 3-1 and a pop out.
First pitch to Chris Young is a fastball right there for a strike. Breaking ball 0-2. Chris Young, a double, a single, and a run scored so far today's game. Hard breaking ball that Montas throws.
I guess he throws his slider so hard as Chris Young swung at a pitch in the dirt, but it was the 0-1 slider, gearing for the fastball.
Montas pitched on Thursday with 14 pitches. Pitch there. No swing. He's trying to get Chris Young to chase on that slider.
Yeah, the difference of 0-1 to 2-2. Chris Young shortened it up a little bit, got the slider, did not commit to the pitch. A little bit different approach with a couple of strikes.
So another breaking ball.
Yeah.
Strike 3 called with a fastball on the outside corner at 100 miles an hour. So that's 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. And let's check in with Angela.
Well, the lights have ignited. I mean, the bats have ignited on the field, and we are soaking in the heat here in the stands with Kelly and Lauren from Urban Montessori Charter School in East Oakland. So how do you guys make this friendship work?
Well, technically, I'm her boss, so I tell her that she has to be on my team. But when we come to these events, we find a way to make it work.
You guys are good friends. How does this bleed into the classrooms as well?
Only during the playoffs.
Well, I'll let you guys soak in the Rays and the game. Guys, back up to you in the booth.
All right, so a Red Sox fan
Love you.
and an A's fan, they're getting together for the most part. Red Sox fan had her glove, so she's ready. Guess if you're going to go to a game, go with your boss.
Usually I'd like to do it during a work week. Saturdays, though, you know, I guess if the boss says go, we go.
Benintendi fouls it straight back. Bounces all the way down into the lower level. Oh, 0-2 the count. Benintendi's 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. He's played Benintendi just a little bit toward left center in the outfield. But not close.
And important to block a ball with a couple of strikes in case the hitter swings. And that's a hard breaking ball. Josh Phegley moving very, very nicely to his right.
Just missed with a fastball, 101 miles an hour.
Tailed off just a little bit too much right at the last instant. The 100 is okay. It's the one that moved a little bit too far outside.
Slider got him looking. Benintendi says that ball's high. A couple of strikeouts for Frankie Montas. 7-3 A's as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Time now for our unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. On Saturdays, we check in on the A's minor league system and see what's going on, and we always keep a close eye on Franklin Barreto, who continues to have a great season. He was 3 for 6 on Thursday night, had 5 RBIs. And Matt Chapman, he's healthy and playing in AAA. He went 3 for 4. He's got 8 home runs now, and all have come in this month. And down in the lower levels at High A Stockton, Carlos Navas, right-handed pitcher, off to a good start. 2 2/3 innings in relief. So that's just a few of the young players playing well down in the A's minor league system. Franklin Barreto is now hitting .312.
He's the real deal.
He's got 6 home runs, 27 RBIs in 38 games. So still very young for the AAA level, but more than holding his own.
And if he can play AAA at that young age, just think what he's going to be in the big leagues.
And he's playing mostly shortstop. He's played 32 games at shortstop, 5 at second base. If you have not seen him play, you've certainly heard a lot about him. We've seen him in spring training. He's not a real big guy, but he's strong, put together, right-handed hitter.
has a great attitude. When you say you're going to be better than Miguel Cabrera, that's saying a lot.
That is saying a lot. Matt Chapman, 25 games, 8 home runs, 14 RBI. There's a strike on the outside corner. 1-2 to Canna. Canna, Lowry, and Davis here in the bottom of the 6th.
So the Chad Pinder's home run, only the 3rd to go into the Plaza Reserve in center field. Larry Walker and Mark McGuire. And I remember McGuire's that went so far in center field against the Indians at Hershiser. Kenny Lofton jumped for it.
You love that story, don't you?
I love it. That's so good. I mean, just to see him, and I'm going, what are you doing? Just making Hershiser feel good. That's good. That is a long way. Nobody's gone up where it says athletics at Mount Davis, but you go above the lower suites. That's a long shot.
So 1-2 to Canna. This was Canna leading off the 5th inning.
And I think your description is said each one went farther than the previous.
They did.
Canada's looked like a long way till KD hit his and then Pinder hit his. All in the same inning.
Two and 2 to Canna. Broken back. Slowly hit toward Bogarts, who scoops, throws, and he gets Canna for the first down. So the Red Sox trying to get healthy. They're missing some fairly key players, including pitcher David Price, who is getting closer, not quite ready yet. Carson Smith was a key guy in their bullpen. Tyler Thornburg is a very good reliever. They got him in a trade this offseason. He is out. Stephen Wright, the knuckleballer, and then you're missing not only Pablo Sandoval, you're not quite sure what you're going to get from him, but you're missing a real good utility guy in Brock Holt. So the third base spot, which was Sandoval's, and Holt plays there some. They don't really have either of those guys, and third base has been an issue now. Sandoval, you just don't know what you're going to get, if you're going to get anything.
Carl Willis, the pitching coach, said something yesterday that David Price was making a rehab yesterday.
Yes, and he did. Yeah, a couple innings. So these guys that the main guys that we're talking about now, they're getting closer. See the Price start last night, just 2 innings. First game in a rehab assignment for Sandoval. He was the DH, and Brock Holt played left field. He said David Price will next pitch on Wednesday. But if he only threw 2 innings last night, he's got a little ways to go yet before he's ready to pitch in the big leagues. But that's an important guy, David Price.
Weren't they talking surgery about him, and then he did a rehab? But I don't know. There's so many different things. Garrett Richards tried it last year and avoided the Tommy John. Unfortunately, he's back on the DL with what initially was a strained forearm. Said earlier, Doug Fister is signed with the Angels. He's a good pitcher. Surprised he did not get a job before now.
I just don't really see a team in the AL East that's the dominant team in that group. I think there's some good teams, obviously. Just don't know if there's a team that's going to run away. Yankees and the Orioles, they've played well so far. Toronto got off to the slow start. They're playing better. Tampa Bay at 500. It's always an interesting division to keep an eye on. Twins continue to have a 1-game lead over the Indians in the Central, so there's the East. The Red Sox just 4 games out. Pop-up foul.
And for a team that started as slowly as the Blue Jays, they realize it's 162 games and realize that You get hot, you could put on a streak. I mean, look at the Rangers. They were pretty much out of it, and then all of a sudden 10 in a row.
There's the surprise in the Central, Minnesota with the lead over the Indians and Tigers. White Sox only 4 back, and really the Royals, who really started out bad, they're only 5.5 back. That's a wide open division.
Could be tough on Dayton Moore, the general manager of the Royals, because if they're close, it's going to be hard to unload the trading deadline, where there's speculation that that would happen.
It's interesting. You look at the standings race. So Minnesota, that's a surprise. Milwaukee is in first place in the National League Central. That's a surprise. Colorado first place in the National League West. That's a bit of a surprise. So we'll see if that holds up. Drive to right. This one's a bomb. And that baby's gone. The A's are just teeing off. Home run number 4 on the afternoon for the Athletics to take an 8-3 lead.
And for Jed Lowry, his out that he made was a line drive to Pedroia. This battle fouled off 4 with a couple of strikes started at about 0-2, and then gone. A long shot, sounded great, and a no-doubter for Jed Lowry. Just continues to swing a hot bat. Plays some great defense. To think the A's in the first 4 innings didn't hit any.
So when this day is all over, there's a very good chance that the A's will be leading the American League in home runs. 63 homers now, and this is game number 43. And there's a base hit to left field. Chris Davis is 2 for 4.
Chris Davis' second hit, but not quite the distance of this home run. And ball just ran up and into him, and he crushed it. And how far will it go? Wow.
Home run leader since the start of the 2016 season. Chris Davis has 2 more than Nelson Cruz, 3 more than Mark Trumbo, and Nolan Arenado. Elite company there.
Yes, indeed. And I don't want to say Nolan Arenado just because of Colorado. He hits him anywhere.
Oh yeah,
he's a very good hitter.
He's terrific. That's Robbie Scott, a left-hander. Ramirez getting knocked around. Chip Hale. Got a babe.
Chip's happy today. He's been shaking a lot of hands.
Yeah,
he's been busy.
That's right. He's got good bounce in his step today.
It's important for him.
Lateral movement. See, look at that.
Backing up,
tiptoes.
Taking on the soft hop, flipping in the stands.
Yeah, he's good. Look at that. Look at that. Soft hands. Watch the back flip. It's like he's turning a double play. Second base, flipping it to the shortstop. Watch it. Tell me this isn't the flip to the shortstop.
That's it. A little bit too high, Chipper, but he wants to get in the stands. I like to see when Chip's happy. That means he's busy. See, he's got his sunglasses on third, coaching third. What about Rutledge? Have we gotten a shot of Rutledge lately at first? I think he put his sunglasses on. Yeah, he decided they better go back on his eyes.
Strike 3 called to Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe is having trouble thinking that was a strike. He's called out. He doesn't know what happened. Was it on the swing? Was it on the pitch?
Well, Vasquez didn't hang on, so I think that's what concerned him.
First baseman, number 25, Ryan Healy.
It was a strike.
It was a strike in the lower part of the strike zone. Vasquez just couldn't handle it. Hit him in the heel of his catcher's mitt.
And he actually looked like he went around as well. So that's the second out here, and it'll bring up Healy. Healy off the end of the bat, shallow left, Bogart out, Young in, and it's going to be caught by Xander Bogaerts on a very nice play. Another home run for the A's, their 4th of the day. This one belongs to Jed Lowry, his 6th home run of the year. No cheapies today, folks, from the green and gold. 8-3, A's lead after 6. Every NBC Sports California broadcast on your desktop or mobile device. A's game streamed on the go on the NBC Sports app. 8-3, the A's lead the Red Sox. Lowry with a home run. Frankie Montas back out there for his 2nd inning of work. Rutledge, Vasquez, Marrero here in the top of the 7th inning. First pitch is in first strike. So 1-1 the count to Rutledge. Rutledge 0 for 2 with an RBI ground out. So 1-2 the count to Rutledge. One and two. Looped over top the Red Sox dugout. This is a list you want to be on, Ray. Most World Series titles all time. Of course, the Yankees on top with 27, and then it gets tight. Cardinals 11, A's 9, Giants 8, and the Red Sox 8. Of course, for the A's, that includes time in Philadelphia. For the Giants, that includes time in New York. Healy grabs it a step into foul territory.
Cardinals moved up to number 2 with their last 2. The A's were 2nd behind the Yankees. But the Yankees with 27, and that's why Joe Girardi, who we'll see next weekend, wears the number 28. They wore 27, and they won the 27th. They were hoping for 28, and that's where why he's wearing number 28. But that would be Yankees here on the 15th for a 4-game series, and the A's, of course, will be going to New York next weekend.
Well, I looked this up in the offseason, Ray, about the Yankees, and we'll talk about it when we play them. But since we're talking about their 27 World Championship, pretty amazing. From 1936 to 1964, that's a 29-year stretch. 29-year stretch. They went to the World Series 22 times and won it 16. So 16 World Series wins over a 29-year stretch.
Pretty
so,
good.
I mean, that's 16 right there.
And you think the Cubs 108 and the Red Sox 88, and they do it that many times in that short of time.
So again, that was from 36 to 64. So it's a long time ago, but still. I mean, in the 1950s alone, the Yankees won 5 World Series titles.
Well, I talked to Frankie Corsetti, who was from Stockton, unfortunately passed away, but Frankie Corsetti was in 23 World Series as a player and a third base coach.
How about that?
He just ran out of rings, and so he started going to every other thing possible instead of World Series rings.
This one's driven to center. Rajay Davis backs up. Vasquez is retired. But for the Yankees, right, one World Series title in the last 16 years.
Yeah. And they spent a lot of money to get that one.
They did, and that was
batting,
2009.
17,
For a period of time, I think over a 10-year period of time, they were in excess of $200 million payroll. So it's $2 billion. And they were winning one, if that. And the sad part was Mariano Rivera and Derek Jeter retired in back-to-back years. They didn't go to postseason.
That's
and
right.
Jeter seemed like every year he went to postseason, and the year he retired, they didn't.
But still, see the Yankees next.
And what we're going to be seeing and talking about is a younger Yankees franchise, Yankees major league team, and a team that's not spending a ton of money to sign free agents and giving up their minor league prospects who are now playing and playing well for the New York Yankees at the major league level.
Now, the Yankees lopped off $52 million in payroll from last year to this year. Last year it was $222 million. This year it's $170.
Just think,
they're a better team.
A-Rod's still on it.
And A-Rod's still on it, and CC Sabathia is still on it.
Yeah. So if those two are off, that's over $50 million that would be lopped off.
That's right.
But no, they're doing it the right way.
Yep.
Brian Cashman said, "I'm not giving up the prospects." And look at Sanchez and Judge, and they still have some good ones that are coming up.
They got the prospects that they got for Chapman and Miller.
Yeah.
They're not even in the big leagues yet.
Yeah. But that 2 innings for
nasty stuff. Yeah, that's a great 2 innings. He strikes out 3, and we have reached the 7th inning stretch. A's 8-3 over the Red Sox.
Of the game, how about 4? Number 1, Mark Cannon, very deep to left field, and that's a deep one. But KD, Chris Davis, that's a deep one to center field. But you're going to see one even deeper from Chad Pinder. We don't even show that because that's too far. But Jed Lowry hit one to right field, a big one. 4 Holy Toledos in the last 2 innings. 3 home runs in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. And Chad Pinder leads off after crushing one where only 3 have gone since 1996.
Well, Pinder will take another shot here. First pitch, slider called a strike.
Correction on the batter, number 18.
Well, here comes Chad Pinders, and a fastball, a shot as Vasquez coming out to try to throw out Plouffe. Instead, Plaza level center field. Plaza reserve, and that's a long, long way. Those are called football seats.
Oh, they sure are. We think Chris Davis's ball, which was hit a long ways, it hit that green wall right above where camera folks are.
Yeah.
Above that.
Yeah.
Well, Pinder's was above the glass and then into the second row above that. So that tells you where that ball landed, and we will not see that again for probably quite a while.
Well, you remember Cespedes in 2012, and see the stub hub is just below that to the right as you look at it at angle. And that is a long way. It's called Plaza Reserved. But Cespedes, of course, the A's started in Tokyo, hit his first home run there, and then hit 2 of 1 in the suites, lower suites in left field, left center, and then 1 to right field in the series against the Mariners. Those were line drives, though. They might have hurt somebody.
Yeah, he can hit some line drives. Pinder rips this one foul. You know what? Bob Melvin made an interesting comment about Chad Pinder. He said he's an intriguing bat.
Yeah, he is.
And it's simple, but that is exactly what he is. You see some things from him that makes you go, whoa. Fastball swing and a miss by Pinder. But I think with Pinder, he's an infielder, and there's really not a place to play him on the infield.
And he played right field, so he's willing to play anywhere. And Kipe, he told me something yesterday. I said, "Have you ever caught?" He said, "Yes." So Bob Bell, if you're listening, here's your emergency catcher in Chad Pinder. He said he catches bullpens a lot, so he's familiar and comfortable putting on the gear, and that's important when you carry only 2 catchers. To have somebody that you can put back and be good at what he does. So infield, play the outfield, not afraid to strap on the gear.
Your kind of guy.
Absolutely. Anybody put on the gear, the tools of intelligence.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
You think I don't listen to you?
Yeah, I know. I've got you trained.
Yes, you do.
And you're so kind on your birthday.
I
That's
know.
good. Yeah.
It's about time that maybe I step out on my own. Take the Ray Fosse training wheels off. It's hard to do, though. It's hard to do.
John Axford, first time in the A's bullpen as an active relief pitcher.
Fegley swings over top. So 1-2 the count. Fegley has singled twice and he has walked. So good afternoon for Josh Fegley.
Check swing might have been the biggest play of the game, second inning, when A's did put up a couple of runs. His check swing and able to beat it out without any interference possibility. Ball down the right field corner, and Bob Melvin has been upstairs watching since the second inning, or down below watching. He's been someplace, but has to be happy with the production from the offense.
Shallow left field. Chris Young coming in. Chris Young grabs it for out number 2.
Well, the check swing in the second inning, and Fegley, the check swing, Pomerantz didn't go after it, and Vasquez had to. Threw the ball down the right field line. So 1 run scored. Actually, another one came around the score, but Betts put up his arms and tucked under, and Bob Melvin didn't like the call. Mike Winters waited till he turned his back and then threw him out. Bad night last night. He's kind of carried over to third base today, but
a little cranky.
Yeah. Day game after night game.
First pitch is a bit inside to Adam Rosales. A couple of strikeouts and a fielder's choice for Rosie.
Always a concern about a runner or hitter running to first base if they run inside and they interfere with the catcher. And I immediately saw the home plate umpire. That was good to see him put the safe sign, which evidently indicated that.
.51 pitches out of the bullpen for Noy Ramirez. He's kind of taking one for the team here.
And he hopes to be able to enjoy an evening in the Bay Area instead of getting on a plane to head back someplace.
Well, Ben Taylor didn't help him out any.
No.
Pomeranz went 4 innings, and then the 5th inning, John Farrell brought in Ben Taylor, and Taylor gave up 4 earned runs without getting anybody out. So what you're really doing is you're going to your second long man, which is not fun.
Well, Frankie Montas has been the difference in this game. After Sean and I went 5, Frankie Montas 6 up, 6 down in the bridge.
So Adam Rosales strikes out. 3 up, 3 down inning for Ramirez. We're moving to the 8th. 8-3, the A's lead.
Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by the Craftsmen of Commerce at Pitney Bowes, helping U.S. online retailers expand globally.
8-3, the A's lead the Red Sox. It's the top of the 8th inning. Top of the order for Boston is Frankie Montas back out there. 2 very good innings, 6 up, 6 down. And he just continues a nice roll by the A's bullpen. Last 4 games, 12 shutout innings, just 7 hits allowed. So that's a good thing.
You know what's great about it is Fernando Abad, after he gets loose, is that during the series in Texas, the A's had a chance to win all 3. The bullpen let them down. Kurt Young had a meeting with them in Seattle. And look how well they have performed. And after the Wednesday night game in Seattle, facing Velasquez on Thursday, Darren Bush had a talk to his hitters. And look what happened then. So coaches doing their job, meeting with the respective people and the staffs as far as the pitching staff and the hitters, and it's worked out well. So Bob Melvin has a good crew. They're all together today trying to get a victory in this 3rd game of the series.
Hit in the air to right field. Canna shading his eyes. And he grabs it. 7 up, 7 down for Montas.
37 pitches in 2 1/3.
Now batting, number 15.
And that'll bring up Dustin Pedroia. Indians shut out the Astros 3-0 final from Minute Maid. So the Indians have won the first 2 games of that big series. Clevenger just 2 hits allowed in 7 innings. He got the win. Fires got the loss. Allen got his 12th save. Up the middle. Pedroia has a base hit, so he's 2 for 4.
Well, a fastball, and he was all over it. Seen a lot of sliders, saw a lot of sliders early,
Number 2,
especially from Manaya.
Bogarts.
So Bogart steps up, 0 for 3 this afternoon. He's 1 for 10 in the series. Ground out, line out, and a strikeout. bad weather in the Midwest. Got a couple games today. The Royals and the Twins in Minnesota postponed, and the Cubs and the Brewers in Chicago. They played yesterday, but it was miserable in Chicago.
It looked horrible.
Cold, wet, windy, and they couldn't even play today.
The A's were lucky in Minnesota because the Monday it was in the 30s and some snow, and then able to play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, although cold, but at least they played. Because that's always important in the way they're set up, where you only go one time. Now the Brewers and Cubs will be in the same division and play. Twins in Kansas City, the same thing.
0-2 slider. Bogart strikes out for the second time.
MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, you can get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Trevor Plouffe on his way to his position. Look back at the home plate umpire. Remember the strikeout?
Yeah.
Thought maybe he was looking at him, giving these hand signals like, was it good strike? Did I swing? And Nixon confirmed that it's a good strike. So he didn't approach him or say anything during the at bat or after the at bat. He waited. The inning was over, headed to his position, and asked him. Pretty good way to do it.
0-1 the count to Hanley Ramirez. Yeah, that's certainly not a guy arguing. He just wants to know.
Wants to know, yeah. And he could have stood at home plate and screamed and yelled and maybe got ejected, but
my question then, Ray, why wouldn't the umpire just tell him
at
right
that time
after it happened?
Yeah, because he was confused going back to the dugout. But you're right.
That one is driven to the gap at right center field. Canha's over to cut it off on a big hop. So he gets it in quickly. The ball rolls through, but Plouffe's there. So Hanley Ramirez is 2 for 4.
And the pitch up a little bit, and Hanley Ramirez, who hit a ball to straightaway center field off Sean Manaea. Goes opposite field. Again, location of the pitch, and Pedroia, the club down a few runs,
Now batting.
decided not to try to go to third. Daniel Kuhn for possibly Benintendi, but also have Mitch Moreland on the bench as well. He could be hitting for Rutledge, who is down in the order.
Well, you don't want to let the Red Sox get back in it.
And that's what one swing could make it a 2-run game. So you're right. And that's why Pedroia didn't try to go to third and be a hero. The only problem at the Coliseum, one of the problems, is that if you're on the bench and you're called on a pinch hit, you got to go straight for the bench.
I mean, you're not taking swings.
Yeah, and the A's could actually go up in the cage with Marcus Jensen, but the visiting teams go to center field, and they probably lock the cage during the game for the Red Sox or the visiting team.
But even the A's,
it's tough.
I mean, it's a little. You got to go up the ramp and then up again a flight of stairs. It's over by the Raiders locker room.
And you have to anticipate. I mean, and just know, well, I'm going to start getting loose just in case. But you saw Moreland, who could possibly pinch hit. He's on the bench. And, you know, most of the newer stadiums have a cage right behind the dugout where they can go in and get loose, hit off the tee, do something. Good job by Frankie Montas trying to get through this 8th inning, and that would be a great 3 innings for him. 3 innings, 7th, 8th, and 9th would qualify for save, but basically he's saving the bullpen, saving the staff with 3 great innings so far, 3 of 2 2/3.
One and one to Chris Young, who's 2 for 3. He's got pretty good power. Liam Hendricks gets up. Hendricks has pitched in both games in this series so far.
I kept watching Montas, and granted he's thrown 46 pitches, and you'd have to think that at this point he's more likely to hang a slider than he is to make a bad pitch with a fastball. So sometimes it's better just to rear back and throw hard and try to hit the spot like that. But the more breaking pitches you throw, the more it's predictable that you're going to throw a fastball if you miss. And that's what happened last night with Embry with Mark Canha. Breaking ball, balls 2, fastball, game over.
Yeah, even, there's a lot of relievers out there who have that real good slider, and they throw it a lot. But even the guys with the really, really good sliders, they always hang one at some point.
Yeah.
It may only be one or two, but they will hang one at some point.
Look at Diaz with Seattle. Hung the slider to is it Pilar on the Sunday walk off.
And it was a high slider, and Chris Young strikes out. So a couple of runners stranded. Good 3 innings from Frankie Montas.
Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon. By Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By AAA, what does your insurance do when it's not doing insurance? It should do more. Go to AAA.com for more details. And by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica.
Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 3-7-1 for the Red Sox, 8-11-1 for the A's. The story for the Athletics today, the long ball. They have hit 4 home runs, and we need to get how many feet on each home run and add it up, because let's see. They were all well over 400 feet, probably 450. So now you got 1,800 feet worth of home runs. Close play, Rajai Davis called out.
That's good.
And the A's are checking to make sure that Rajai was indeed out. Heck of a play by the shortstop Bogaerts. And he was out.
He was out.
Good call.
Good call, good play. And Bogaerts with an accurate throw.
So 1 away, bottom of the 8th inning. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. So former A Fernando Abad comes in. Abad's numbers this year: 1-0 with a 2.19 ERA. This is his 15th appearance. He was with the A's in 2014 and 2015. Had a real good year in 14. He was 2-4 with a 1.57 ERA. In 2015, the ERA went up to 4.15. Pitched in over 60 games in each year, so he did a pretty good job. Smith warming up for the Athletics.
I think one of the highlights of Fernando Abad is became a U.S. citizen.
Good for him.
Yeah, he did it, and very proud of that fact. And Ozzie Guillen with the White Sox, when he became a U.S. citizen, he demanded that his players during the national anthem be out on the field in front of the dugout and respecting the national anthem and the flag. And It was worth it, and for Fernando Abad, he was extremely proud of the fact that he was able to gain citizenship.
The count to Mark Canha, who has homered, flied out a couple times, and grounded out. And now the count 2-2. Straightaway defense for Canha. He shoots this one down the right field line, foul.
Remember, you used to be able to run down the stairs like that?
Yeah, now you just sort of slowly walk down. Have an ice pack for your knees waiting at the bottom of the steps.
And you never want to say that hurt, you just fake it.
Oh, of course. Or you have the team doctor come into the broadcast booth, check on you, gives you pieces of paper.
And scares you to death. Nice touch, though. The A's putting rails down in the area above the lower level, the MVP seats, and above the walkway. They put the rails so people could walk down a little bit steeper stairs. So there's some nice rails for people to hang on. Thank you very much, Coliseum, because I enjoy those. Hold on. Not quite like Rogers Center, where they have, I mean, you better hang on when you're going up those stairs up the deck.
They're all over. Are they on Chip Hale?
Can't see. Now, Mark Canha, this is pitch number 8 coming up. And this is grinding out of the bat because he hit the home run. He also has made 3 outs, so he's trying to make it a 2 for 5 today instead of a 1 for 3 or 1 for 4.
Down and in, so full count.
Lowry's had a good day with 3 hits, including a long home run.
So Abad finally ready. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Nasty breaking ball, and it's called a ball. So 1 out runner. Here's our true story brought to you by McDonald's. Check this out, Ray. On this date, 1986. That's Ricky Henderson of the Yankees. Leads off the game with a home run. The pitcher, Kurt Young.
That's right, side.
Can you believe that? Can you believe that Ricky did that to our good friend Kurt Young?
Fidel, the manager, no rails in front of the dugout, and waving to his mother, who's probably out here in Oakland watching the game. There is Kurt Young. Now it's Ricky Henderson Field.
You know what, though, when it's all said and done, final score in that game, A's 2, Yankees 1. Winning pitcher, Kurt Young. Losing pitcher, Ron Guidry. So Kurt Young outdueled Ron Guidry.
Louisiana Lightning got it. That's good.
So Kurt's going to say, yeah, you know what? How about show some more highlights? So Ricky Henderson, in his career, 297 home runs. 81 of them he hit as leading off a game. That's a lot.
I wonder. I'd like
one of 297.
I'd like to know how many home runs were hit when he was on first or second, because the pitcher was worried so much about him that they threw pretty good pitches to hit.
Lowry, right side and foul. Ricky had 5 walk-off home runs in his career. How about that? Hit them when they count most.
I asked Ricky about his bunting. I said, is it true that you bunted a ball and came up hit you in the face, and that's why you stopped? He said, twice. Happened twice, and he said,
That's it.
Ricky's not going to bunt anymore.
That's it.
That's it.
Mookie Betts shading his eyes, gets over there.
And you think how many hits he got, and he never bunted after a ball bunted. And he said, Billy Martin showed him, he said, the bunting, using the glove to shade the eyes. It almost looked like he didn't know where it was, but sunglasses and the glove. Ricky told him, said that Billy Martin told him, he said, Ricky, if you're bunting, just take your left hand off, drop your hand down with the bat and bunt. Ricky said, no, Ricky's not going to do that either. So Ricky just hit home runs.
Ricky doesn't want Ricky to bunt.
No.
So 2 outs for Chris Davis here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A's leading 8-3. Red Sox once had a 2-0 lead. That was in the top of the 2nd, but the A's answered right back, scored 2 in the bottom of the 2nd. Red Sox take the lead in the top of the 5th. A's come back and score 5 in the bottom of the 5th. So the A's have answered back tonight. One and one the count. Chris Davis has had a good game, a 2-run homer, a single. He's 2 for 4.
Don't get up, guys. Just lean down and use your cap.
Chris Davis hits that one off the end of the bat. Pomeranz, Taylor, Ramirez, Abad for the Red Sox. So the traditional 7 relievers for the Red Sox. These have 8. Rays leading the Yankees 9-5. That game in the 7th inning in St. Petersburg. We do know that the Yankees have hit a couple of home runs in that series. These the Yankees, the top home run hitting teams in the American League. Tigers and the Rangers just now getting started in Detroit. Close eye on that one tonight, with the Rangers looking for their 11th consecutive win. Pitch is popped up, headed back into the seats. Big bounce. So the count remains 2-2. In the 9th inning, Benedetti, Rutledge, Vasquez are the 3 scheduled hitters for the Red Sox. A little bit low. Good take by Chris Davis. Josh Smith is ready to go out in the A's bullpen. Here's the payoff pitch. Runner goes, swing and a miss. That was that super slow breaking ball from Abad. So that's how the bottom of the 8th ends. A's 3 outs away from a win. 8-3 A's lead. It's the top of the 9th inning. So the A's 3 outs away from picking up their 20th win of the year. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog expert. So the young right-hander Josh Smith comes in, his 4th appearance. He's allowed 1 run in 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 walks, and a couple of strikeouts. First pitch is a fastball away to Benintendi.
Frankie Montas, a great job following Sean Manaea. And Kipe, to this point, ratings, no walks for the A's pitching staff. So Josh, keep it going.
It's been a good series for the bullpen. And really coming at a good time after, like what you said, what happened in Seattle. They needed a little confidence boost. Rutledge to follow, and then Vasquez for the Red Sox.
Right now the A's want to see a clean inning in this 9th. You go have a nice birthday dinner.
I'd prefer a clean inning.
Yeah.
Very high down the right field line, and it is foul. John Farrell puts his hands up and says, wait a minute. Mike Belinsky is the first base umpire, and they're going to look at it. Did it look fair to you?
It was so high.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
You can't tell because the foul pole only goes up so high. And Farrell's got to be saying that it was high enough that it was over the foul pole and fair.
You know what? You're right. It did go over top. Yep. This is a good look right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Red Sox are challenging the ruling on the field. It was called a foul.
See, that's the problem, though, Ray. When it goes over top, you don't have any reference point where you don't see the ball go in front of the yellow pole or behind it because it went over top.
Well, it's either strike 2 or 8-4.
So it's a crew chief review.
Yeah, it is a crew. And actually, John Farrell put his hands up to his ears saying he wanted a review, but it is the umpires doing it. And it's a tough call.
It is a tough call.
I mean, so unless the Red Sox have a different angle.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Foul ball.
Foul ball.
Wow. So it's 2-2.
And the thing too, Ray, is, and again, if you can't see the ball crossing in front of the yellow pole, you're really just kind of guessing if it's that close.
Gary DeSarcina is still on the phone, but I think that's the call. The fact that it's
you
really,
can't tell.
You can't tell. It's not definitive, and you can
right.
really the foul pole here. It's about as high as you can't keep going up higher, but if Benintendi had hit one lower and around it, it's a home run, but may have been, may not have been.
2 pitches outside, so 3-2 the count.
Well, it's a time to challenge. It's a 2-2 slider. You might as well challenge.
And he did, and a good fastball, and Benintendi strikes out. He's thinking I should have had a home run, and I end up striking out. So 1 away here in the 9th inning. Well, tomorrow it'll be the 4th and final game of this series. Eduardo Rodriguez, pretty good young left-hander, will face Andrew Triggs, who is looking for his 6th win of the year. Check out the ERA on Triggs, 2.12. Our coverage begins at 12 p.m. with A's pregame live. So could be that the A's will be going for the sweep. So Triggs, who's been great this year, we're looking forward to seeing how he does tomorrow against these Red Sox. Rutledge 0 for 3. A's hitters have struck out 10 times today. Red Sox hitters have struck out 9. So we've seen a lot of strikeouts in this series. Good breaking ball from Josh Smith. Right field, Canna came in just a little bit. Now he goes back fighting that sun and he makes the catch. Well, stay tuned after the game for A's post-game live presented by State Farm.
Now batting, number 7, Christian Vasquez.
So here's Christian Vasquez. First pitch is a fastball, a little bit high. Vasquez is 1 for 3. Single and a couple of fly balls to center field. This one chopped over the mound. Lowry has it. Straightens up. On to first, and that's the ball game. So this series has belonged to the Oakland A's as they have won the first 3 games, and tomorrow afternoon they will go for the sweep of the Boston Red Sox. So the A's starting to play better. They've won 4 to their last 5. They're now just 3 games under the 500 mark. 8-3 final. The A's win it. 3 hours and 22 minutes in front of 20,235. It's an 8-3 win for the Athletics. Don't go away. A's post-game live presented by State Farm starts right now.